Okay, before we get started, let me change this one setting here. Okay, welcome everyone. This is the final stream of 2021 for this channel. There is a lot that I want to cover in this stream. The first thing I guess I'll say is spirit of the holidays, and also, of course, just in general. I've said this before many times as well, but I'm very appreciative that people have come out to watch these streams over the last seemingly year, which is crazy. And it's if you can take joy in the stream, that makes me happy. It makes me happy that I get to do this every week, and it's been a really special year discussing all these Code Geass and even doing response to articles and the Watch Mojo video. Just thinking back on it all, it's been a really fun year, and I definitely enjoyed all the live streams. I look forward to more live streams for next year. Hopefully, Zero Capture will be out by then, so I don't have to how do I put this? I don't have to keep going through every single Code Geass piece of media to get to that point. Although, considering Zero Capture hasn't even been announced yet, who knows when that will be the case. But regardless of that, I still got plenty of ideas we can do after I finish all of the Code Geass stuff. That includes R2, the films, the OVAs, maybe the manga. I don't know. We'll see. But either the case may be, I really enjoy these live streams. Very thankful you guys tune in every week to partake in the comments. I love reading the comments. That's why I started this channel from the get-go, just like getting a conversation going, discussing with you guys the various topics on Code Geass. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. Next thing, I didn't really do any Christmas shopping, but if you guys are curious, I got... So this will be also a spoiler for next... Well, it might not be next week's topic. Anime review, we'll see. So I got Eureka 7, the DVDs, and I got the sequel, AO. I've never seen AO, and I heard it was awful, but, for completionist sake. There we go. I got it. 4 words, or 4 attempts. I wanted to see what it was like. I also went to the library, and I got, all the Attack on Titan stuff. The next season's coming out... I think it's coming out in January. So I've already seen the show multiple times. I'm just kind of binging, just so I remember kind of what happened in the story. Although some stuff, if you guys don't know, it kind of sticks with you for a while. But still, I just wanted to mention you guys that I'm also going to go through Attack on Titan. And there will be a video discussing Code Geass and Attack on Titan. Probably when that season comes on. I'm going to try to time the video so it kind of falls in line and makes sense. So that's the thing I wanted to mention about that. Okay, before we get into summarizing the year and the videos I worked on, I wanted to do one last review. This review is going to be on Evangelion 3.0, 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time. Let me just do one quick thing here. Normally when I do reviews, I don't show you guys any imagery, but in this case, I'm going to show you guys a photo from my favorite scene in the movie. And the funny part about this scene is that if you only watch the films, this has absolutely no significance to you, or not as much, I should say. But because I watched the original series, I absolutely love this scene. This review will contain minor spoilers. I'm going to assume you have watched the original, not the original series. You've watched this film and the obviously the rebuild films that came before it, but nothing too crazy. There's not going to be anything here that I'm going to give away. Just some bits and pieces here and there. I can't really discuss this film anyways for more than 10 minutes without getting too annoyed. And I think that going forward, if I want to discuss this film in a more, non-quick succession, it might take me hours to do so, because there's really so much to discuss when it comes to this film. And yeah, I can't do it in 10 minutes. So this is going to be a very quick discussion about this film. The first thing I want to mention is that if I was to summarize this entire series into one sentence, it would be this. It is amazing how much you can accomplish with very little and fail with a lot. And the reason why that resonates so well with this series is because the original anime did so much with so little and impacted the entire world of anime forever. But these films didn't seem to do much by comparison. So it's incredible to me that given a huge budget and seemingly, full controlling and you could do whatever you want, somehow these films appear to be even worse than the original anime. An opinion that I don't think most have, or maybe they do. I don't know. It's very hard. I'm actually quite confused when it comes to the whole feedback when it comes to these movies. I've tried to figure out for the longest time, like, why people enjoy these films, specifically this last one. I saw some video, I talked to some of my friends, I've been on Reddit looking at people's posts, and I really don't get it. The best I can come up with, it seems to be that there's some kind of feeling or attachment people have to these films, and specifically, excuse me, and specifically to this film. And a lot of it is just emotional, abstract ideas. It isn't like they look at this film for any specific thing. They go, well, it's the message about the film, or how the characters interact, or how I've been waiting my whole life for this movie, seemingly. And those are fine, but I also wonder if you take those arguments, you can kind of justify anything. And that's why I don't necessarily like that approach to analyzing this film. But I was trying to figure a way to rationalize this from my own point of view, and here's one way I thought about it. So, Lucha the Resurrection wasn't the best film ever, obviously, and it was a sequel to Code Geass. Well, not really a sequel; it was a sequel to an alternate universe. And a lot of people who watched that film didn't like it for whatever reason. Maybe because it made no sense, or it was rushed. The plot was kind of out there. There are plenty of people who've discussed it, myself included. When I but I liked the film because I was waiting a long time. I'd say since 2008, 2009, to see Illusion action ever again. Because I watched Code Geass in 2009. So let me be clear. So I've been waiting since 2009 to see some kind of new story with Lelouch in it. So for me, that was a long time in the making, right? That's like 10 years. But if you had watched Code Geass maybe in 2017, it probably wouldn't have meant much to you. So that's kind of the difference between, say, myself and Evangelion fans. Where I started Evangelion, I watched the first year in 2014. So by the time I watched that, the first two rebuild films were already out. So if I even cared about the conclusion, that would have been like a 7-year wait at most, which is still a lot, but that's much different than people have been waiting since, 1998, for example. And some people have discussed how, for them, that's how long they've been waiting for. So I guess that's kind of the point. There's some kind of emotional attachment people have to this film. I personally just didn't have it. And at least with the Code Geass film, Lucha the Resurrection, maybe it wasn't the best told story, but it accomplished what it was trying to do. And I never thought that these films ever did that. Now, one thing I want to mention about Anno, everyone talks about how he got over his depression, and this film was supposed to represent that, even though, who cares, honestly? I'm not saying I don't hate the guy or anything, but it's just the person's background in making the film shouldn't affect the film itself. That should be like another analysis of it, meaning like you can enjoy the film as it is, and then you go back through it and you can realize, oh, it actually was better because you realize the director had things going in the background that impacted the film. But going forward with this idea, what I don't like is that when Anno first made these films, he said that the anime world was becoming stagnant, how nothing interesting has come out since Evangelion. And I find it to be a very arrogant statement because I was doing some basic research on this, and I'm going to pull it up. I won't show you guys on screen, but I'll just list out some stuff. So I looked up anime that came out between 1998 and 2001, and also from 1998 to 2006. They were rated 7 to 8. So not the best anime, but like anything 7 or above. And when I did the research, I found a lot of anime that maybe didn't change the world like Evangelion, but definitely don't show stagnation. And some anime include, I found Asmodeus, Blue Gender, a show called, Digimon. Have you heard of that one? And the list goes on. Oh, Spirited Away, right? Imato Po, that I totally mispronounced it. That famous boxing anime. The point is, like, there were so many good shows that came out during that time. I just find it to be very arrogant to say, oh, anime hasn't gotten any better since that. Really, Full Metal Alchemist, Gankutsuo, Great Teacher Onizuka. I could keep going on, but the point I'm trying to make is that there were a lot of great shows that came out after Evangelion, and a lot of these shows had nothing to do with Evangelion. There were even great shows before Evangelion, like Serial Experiment Lane, which came out, I believe, the same year, and Ghost in the Shell, which also came out, I think, a couple years before that one. What's the year exactly? 95, so about around the same year. So the point I'm trying to make is that this guy, yes, he's praised for being an excellent director, and there's definitely proof of that. But at the same time, though, people act like, or I should say, he acted like that if he didn't get involved with this and make these films, anime was going to die out. And you could see after Evangelion that was just not the case. I didn't even mention Death Note, which is another great anime that came out between. Well, I won't say great. It's a good anime. I'll say this much: Death Note was a very unique anime. So that's kind of the point where basically you can't argue that nothing amazing has come out since Evangelion. That's completely not true. Maybe you can argue nothing has impacted anime in the same way as Evangelion, but to say nothing has come out since and anime is dying out, I think that's a very I don't think it's an accurate statement. And you can definitely see since even the last decade, all the good stuff that's come out, it's kind of insulting that this guy thinks that if he doesn't get involved with it, anime will just die out without him. I don't like that mentality. No one talks about that when they discuss Ano. It's just always about his depression and getting over it, which is, that's fine, but we got to tell the whole picture if we're going to be honest about this discussion. So speaking of the last film, Thrice Upon a Time, I didn't like it. I watched it twice thinking I might see something different. The second time around, did not. Why the film was bad? Well, it basically doubles down every single thing from the third film, which I didn't like, and arguably the second. One of the first time I noticed, I had a lot of deja vu. There were certain scenes that were seemingly ripped from the third film, and when I was going back through these films in process for that review I made, and also this review, I got confused between what happened in each film because they're so similar in both design and look that, and even events, I really got confused half the time. Now, it could be because I binged them all over a couple weeks. I watched the first three films, then I watched them again, then I watched this film, then I watched those films again, then I watched this film again. So it's easy for me to probably confuse certain things, but still, the film was so unique and interesting, I wouldn't have confused it at all. It's one of the first things I immediately noticed. The next is the CGI. The CGI in this film is just as bad as it was in the previous three. There are certain moments where I'm like, why did they CGI that? They could just normal 2D animation would have been fine. Some of the scenes are just so ridiculous. And I made a point earlier that I like to take Evangelion seriously, but the film tries so hard to take you out of it that you just can't take it seriously. The next part they have is more fan service. And I use the term fan service, but I really shouldn't use that term anymore. It's not fan service. This is just disgusting depiction of minors. I'll say the joke, because the film obviously wasn't meant to be taken seriously, or maybe it was, who the heck knows. But after you watch this film, between this film and the other three, you'll have seen Asuka, Mari, and Rei nude at some point. Completely nude. Now, you don't see Mari or Asuka's nipples, but you see Rei's. And you're probably thinking, well, that's kind of creepy you even noticed that. Really? How is it creepy considering the person who made this, Ano, specifically wanted these scenes in the film? Is it creepy for me to make observations about this, or is it creepy that he put them in the first place? It was so distracting. I just don't understand to this day why anyone finds that to be appealing to look at. There was one part where Mari, she takes all her clothes off and she's just standing naked holding her plug suit. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. Sometimes I thought this film was a joke, a comedy. Like was it some kind of practical joke? Because I was laughing, and maybe you did too when you watched it. Like that scene when she's that scene when Mari is holding her plug suit, I was just laughing. Like, this is so stupid. This is not funny or interesting. It's just stupid. There comes a point where you throw so much at the screen, it has absolutely no meaning after a while. I remember hearing about that from a podcast from Ava Monkey where they discussed this film and all the other ones, which is really good, by the way. If you have any questions about that film, go watch the podcast. Maybe I'll put a link after this stream is over. And they were discussing the idea like if you keep showing the same thing over and over again, it basically loses all meaning. And that's kind of this film, like in a nutshell. Same with the CGI. There's so much stuff on the screen happening one time. Like if there's any big meaning or whatsoever, it's just gone. It's just noise. It's just noise. This film is just noise. Next thing I'll mention is that it had complicated lore. Basically, there were so many things going on at one time. It was hard to focus. They kept throwing more and more things at you. You had no time to digest any of it. This is a film where you have to watch at least 2 or 3 times to understand it. And even then, good luck to you. I'm still kind of confused. There were many times where I felt they were contradicting their own lore or just making stuff up on the fly, which, excuse me, they were making stuff on the fly, which I got the impression like, wait, what? Because I actually understand the lore pretty well now, considering I've done a lot of research. And so when they were doing certain aspects, was showing certain aspects of the film, I was like, wait, how does that work? I thought you guys said earlier it worked like this and so forth. And that's not good storytelling when you're contradicting your own lore, which this film doesn't even care about anyway, so why should I? The story itself was completely half-assed. It's like 4 arcs. There's one part where it's like an action sequence. Then there's a part where Shinji, Asuka, and Rei are in a village hanging out, and almost like a people call it Ghibli sequence. That's a pretty good, accurate depiction of it. Then there's a fight against Gendo, and then it ends with the Human Instrumentality Project. And each part felt not out of place, but like it wasn't paced well. I would have had maybe more of the Human Instrumentality Project and the fight scene and less of the village, because the village to me, while very nice, could have been like a separate thing you could have done on a side, like an OVA or some extra part. It takes away from everything else, and ultimately, I'm not sure what the point of it was, considering how annoying the ending is. I'm not going to go over that because I don't want to spoil too much in this, but again, minor spoilers on that. And the last thing about this film, and this is just my perspective on this, probably no one else will think this, but these films aren't memorable, and they won't be talked about years in the future. Unlike the original series, and people talk about what did the ending mean, 25, 26, the whole end of Evangelion, all that nonsense. No one's going to look fondly on these films and say, yeah, I remember in the rebuild films some scene where no, I don't know, I don't got anything. That's the problem with these movies. I just don't remember. I had to watch them so many times because nothing was even sticking to me the whole time. But if you asked me like what happened in Evangelion, the original anime, or even the end of Evangelion, I could point to several scenes that have stuck with me and will always stick with me. And the problem with these films, it's just not the same. There's so many parts where I had to like force myself to remember what happened in these movies. With the original series was not the case. And I'm going to assume, I'm going to make a prediction that years from now, no one's going to talk about these films at all. Unless like Ano makes more Evangelion stuff that connects to this. We'll see. But it's just not memorable. And a lot of the payoff scenes don't even have any weight to them because they rely on your knowledge of the previous series. They don't rely on the films. I mentioned in my review of the films that the problem I had with them is that they had too much over-reliance on the original source material. And the reason why that's a problem is because Ano made this film with the intention you wouldn't have to watch the original source material. It could be a standalone for non-fans. But there are so many scenes, like the one looking at right now, where it shows Shinji hugging Misato. This only emotionally impacted me because of the original anime. Nothing about the films made me care too much about these two, but in the anime, they had a very strong connection, and they for some reason removed a lot of those parts in the film to throw other stuff in there, which was awful. I'm not going to discuss that here. That could be for a longer discussion in the future. So I'm going to try to be a little bit positive, but not really, I guess. Here is something that stuck out from this film. A bunch of stuff. The first one I got to mention is the part where you see the gigantic Rei and the CGI head. And I got to tell you, when I first saw the CGI head of Rei, I was laughing. I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever saw in a film like this. I mean, CGI in certain points in the movie is just really bad and takes you out of the moment. But seeing a CGI Rei on top of a 2D body didn't make any sense. There's a part near the end of the film where the head comes off and it's just floating in space. It looks like it's a mistake of some kind. I was laughing. I was like, is this a joke? Is this some kind of practical joke? Was Arnold just like trolling everybody? Like, it was just like, did anyone not think that was a good idea? Like, you want to make a 3D version of her head? And Evangelion had a 2D version, and that image of her in that image of her in the End of Evangelion will always stick with you forever. When you see her head on the beach, cut in two, that's a very disturbing scene. This wasn't disturbing, it was stupid. And something else too I want to mention, why is everyone not afraid of this thing? In the End of Evangelion film, Shinji is screaming top of his lungs, and everyone's like terrified at Nerve headquarters. In this film, everyone's like, oh, that's the, what was it called? I don't remember the name. The anti-Ava, the alternate Ava, maybe it was imaginary Ava. I forgot what the term was. It doesn't really matter. They throw all terms like as if it matters. But she was saying like, oh, I never thought it existed. And our girl was like, oh, it's just nuts. It's all nuts. Nuts. There is a giant creature with gigantic, like the head is bigger than your whole ship. And you're just like, whatever, average day, in the office, I guess. Are you serious? What a way to take you out of the moment. I kind of, I wanted to bring up, I guess, Attack on Titan here because in Attack on Titan, everyone is terrified of these things. Even some of the more trained veteran troops, even the more veteran troopers, or I hate troopers. What the hell? The more veteran soldiers are terrified of these things. There's a scene where a certain character died. I'm not gonna say who or what situation, but he was terrified of these things. And this guy had been killing Titans for a long time. It was one considered the best in the business, and he was terrified. Okay, they should have taken a little thing out of a cue from Attack on Titan and make the gigantic ray one terrifying and two make everyone else scared of it. Like it's so bizarre. Like that's not how people act. Again, it takes you out of the film. When you don't think about this stuff, this is what happens. Other things that stuck with me, we got Ray becoming a person. Anytime she was interacting in the, anytime Ray was acting in the, or not, anytime Ray was doing things in the village, I love those scenes. They're very nice. Her whole discovering what it means to be alive, really good stuff. It's unfortunate it had to be done in this film, but still, I'll give the film credit where it's due. That was very memorable to some extent. I probably won't remember in a couple months, but it's still, for when I watched it, it meant something, I guess. The whole time, Asuka's not wearing clothing for some reason. I don't know why. And then there's one part where she's like just bathing naked, and then Shinji walks in, and so does that guy from his class with the glasses. I don't remember his name, and everyone's just so casual about it. Even Asuka's like, "Oh yeah, there's a guy who's 20 years old walking into my room. I'm bathing naked. And everyone's just okay with it." Very weird stuff. I don't know. It's just it stuck out to me, but not in a good way. I like how during the Human Instrumentality Project they showed footage of the original anime. I thought it was a nice touch. If you'd watched the films, you might have picked up on it. Not the films. Well, they showed that too. But if you watch the anime, you'll pick up on some stuff. It was a nice little scene. If you didn't, I guess it doesn't affect you if you didn't watch it. But if you had, there was that. It stuck out to me. I might remember that going forward. So overall, let's try one more time. So overall, discussing this film, or overall, when thinking about this film, it just wasn't as strong as End of Evangelion. To me, there was too much done. There were so much things that didn't make any sense, and ultimately, it felt like they just made up something as they went along. They threw out terms that you couldn't digest. They substituted good content with disgusting depictions of minors, and ultimately, the ending was, I felt unsatisfied and kind of confused. And I thought the point was to not do that. And no matter how hard I try, I'll never understand people like these films. I guess it had to be one of those things where you had to have been there, because I just wasn't. So overall, I gave the film like a 6 out of 10 when I first watched it. Now I'm thinking 5 out of 10. And it's a real shame too, because this film took 4 years to make, and a lot of people put their heart and soul into it. And you could definitely see that, but at the same time though, most films have that type of devotion put into them. And ultimately, it's the final product that matters, not the effort that was put into it. Sad, but unfortunately true. So that's my thoughts on Thrice Upon Time. Not a good movie. I could do so much more discussion about the film, and I might in the future. I'll probably do some like longer discussion, because there's so much to say about this film, despite the fact I hate it so much. I mean, that's why, I don't know. It always seems to be when I hate an anime, I have so much to say about it. When I like an anime, it's like I could just say it was great, it impacted me emotionally, and that's it. Hate has always seemed to be stronger and discuss it than love for some reason when it comes to liking shows. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Thrice Upon a Time. All right, let's move on to comments, because you guys left a bunch. Okay. Okay. You know what? While I'm reading comments, let me just have this going, just so you guys look at something else besides Evangelion stuff. Okay. Comments. So hi, like your videos, man. Fan of Code Gas. Yeah. Me too. I work hard on these live streams. That video you watched, by the way, that introduction, that took me like, I was up all night last night working on it. And Resolve is kind of annoying, but still pretty good. Okay, why is this here? I thought I got rid of this. Huh, okay, I'm not going to mention it. LC2 is lovely. I guess so. What's up, Fenrix? Or Phoenix? Oh, I'm glad you appreciate that. It makes me happy. Zero Capture is a sequel to Luch of the Resurrection that is coming out, who knows, but it's supposed to be a sequel, so that's that. He-Man stuff. That's funny. He-Man's not bad. Yeah, the Kogia stuff is expensive, especially because they didn't make like all the like there's no Funko Pops of Code Geass. It's just bizarre, or certain like plushes you can get. It's not like other anime you can get a bunch of it, but for some reason in Code Geass you can't, so it's kind of annoying. I hope they animate Oz and Renya. Please translate Oz completely. Yeah, that'd be great, right? That'd be a good thing. I wish. Hope next year we get something Zero Capture because please, dang it, I agree. Don't you think you would know? Welcome, dude. I have. I've. Not, I haven't watched it yet. I do have most of the seasons. I just haven't got a chance to watch it yet. The problem I have with My Hero Academia is that the story seems too similar to Naruto, and I hate to say that. I'm sure people are gonna be offended. Like, how dare you compare the two? But they seem too similar. So I don't know. I haven't dived into a big shonen since D Gray Man. Kogias, Monster, My Academia, Demon Slayer. Those are all good stories. Psycho, Dragon Ball, and Naruto. These include took from the world insane popularity and love. Do you know Gamma and Gamma are voiced by Levi Ackerman? What's Gamma and Gamma One? I'm not even sure what that is. Can we disagree here? Ava's one of those animes if you're never going to leave the fandom, Zelda. It's one of those building blocks of every taco that everyone's talked about. Well, what I was saying in the review is that what I was saying in review is that the Ano, I think you're responding to the Ano comment. He was discussing the idea that nothing has come out since Ava, and if we don't have Ava in our lives or something, or more of it, then like anime won't progress or something. Like he has to be the one to do it. I'm not sure that's what you were responding to. I'll give you a chance to obviously counter argument, but that was kind of the point I was making. Where I think anime is going to be fine without Ano's involvement in it. And yes, Ava is definitely important about every otaku should watch, but not every otaku does watch Evangelion. There are a lot of otakus who are one and done. You know, they watch one show and that's the only show they watch, and that's totally fine. Or some people maybe know Evangelion, but they don't get into it. There was a good video from the Masked Man where he discussed how there's some good themes in Evangelion, but he read Berserk and he's read other stories like Monster, and he got the same ideas from that story. So this, not you specifically, but this arrogance where it's like Evangelion, you have to watch it. Every otaku should. It's part of culture, and so I mean, to an extent it is, but at the same time though, it's not required. And just because it is doesn't mean we can't criticize the story or acknowledge the fact that maybe its time is run and move on to something else. And people can't always let go of stuff. So that's kind of the my critique about it. I don't know if that's what you were suggesting, but that's anime of the year. Bleach probably. Yeah, I agree. It's Bleach. Maybe also what's it called? Zeta Capture if it ever comes out. Air anime I'm excited about that's coming out this year. I don't know. There's some new Free films that are coming out. I absolutely loved Free, so maybe. We're talking about the excuse me, man, a lot of burping. I ate food like several hours ago. You're talking about the Evangelion films or the Kogias films. Either way, you don't necessarily have to, but you could. Yeah, Bleach is coming back next year. My God, one second. Disgusting. Burping on camera is not what I wanted to do today. I wish I'd make a more Kogias action figure. The only figure I can find that wasn't a statue was Zero's action figure. That was like $200. Jeez. Have you seen the what was it? Some of those nightmare frames? My God, the Shakira's like $200. Yeah, they don't have any Kogia stuff. It's like even everything else has been like done. Oh, Ava, yeah. I mean, they're on Prime if you want to watch them. Although people hate the dubbing for some reason. I meant the whole idea of like a kid who wants to accomplish some goal and ultimately, I don't know. When I was trying to get into it, I kept getting the same kind of vibe over and over again when I was watching it. So like the first couple episodes, maybe I'm any summons. I guess we can do one summon. We'll do one summon. It's fine. Later though, I want to get some more. I want to keep more farming. We'll do one summon. That's fine. Okay. So now what we're gonna do? I'm gonna talk about. I guess we can do this in two different, or we can do it. Basically, I want to discuss only anime I've watched, and also discuss how this year went for the channel. So we got two approaches. We can either talk about the anime first, or we can do the or we can do the or we can do the year as a whole. I guess we'll start with the anime I watched, and then we'll go through the year as a whole. So I watched a bunch of anime. Let me get this going. Hold on. So I watched a bunch of anime this year, including Violet Evergarden, Bakano, Ghost Stories, Beck, Snow White, Red Hair, Ancient Mage's Bride, Magical Night for Earth, Olo Double O, Raza Fun, the Free Internal Summer, Free Dive into the Future. Let's see. When Marnie was there, Blue Gender. Sorry about that. Blue Gender, Bungo Stray Dogs Season 1, the Evangelion films, and then this one. Those were all the films that I watched. Let's go through some of the ones I want to talk about in more detail. So I gotta get some real quick. Let me pull up something here. The first show I'm going to talk about is Blue Gender. It's I kind of apropos I discussed Blue Gender first. So this anime, it's basically it has a lot of Evangelion like aspects to it. Like this, for example, this is a very good anime. I did recommend it. I don't know where you can watch it though, which is kind of frustrating. I don't think any streaming source has it, or if it does, I don't remember if one has it or not. But this story is really good. It was a idea that there's these creatures called the Blue, and they basically are these. Let's see if I don't want. It's only the first episode. I don't want to spoil anything else from the story. But there's these creatures. They're like bug-like insects, pug-like insects. There's creatures, and they're basically destroying all of humanity. And this guy named Yuji wakes up to find out basically that the entire world he loved is gone. He meets this girl Marlene who saves his life, and he ultimately teams up with her to get them back to their base in space. And there's a whole plot behind that. It's complete insanity. The story is it's just so good because you have these two characters in Yuji and Marlene, and they go through like the reverse growth in the story. Like Marlene starts out with this character who's very, I would say, like militaristic, almost emotionless. This is her, by the way. I love her design too. Completely emotionless, and she turns into a very caring and kind woman, whereas Yuji turns into more of a monster. They basically swap roles, and there's a lot of like deep philosophical ideas about the Blue itself and where it came from, and there's like good reveals in it too. The animation, I absolutely loved it. I love this '90s look. Actually, this might be is this '90s? Maybe it's 2000. I don't know. I think it's actually 2000s. I had the list up. Hold on. Is this '90s or 2000s? I was actually just looking at it. If it's not, it's like either it's probably early 2000s. Let me see. This was made in 1999, exactly on the cusp. So I love the animation style for Blue Gender. I was completely like from episode 1 till the last one. I think it was like 26, episode 25. I was glued. I wanted to know exactly what's going to happen. I was completely hooked on this story. I loved all the characters. The ending was extremely ambiguous to an extent, but it was so good. And I hate to spread more hate on Evangelion. I hate to hate, but the ending in this story I felt was better than Evangelion's because only the last episode was kind of ambiguous, or last two rather. The rest of the story kind of was leading up to it. I know Evangelion kind of did something similar, but like Evangelion was way more abstract, and this story was not. There's like ways to interpret the ending, but they're all within some level of groundedness. You're not like trying to interpret like what you're seeing on screen. You're just trying to interpret like what exactly happened because there's multiple ways to do so. Overall, one of the best animes I watched this year, and I'll probably revisit it every so often because it's really good. It's extremely underrated, and more important about Evangelion, I'm going to make, and I'll stop talking about it, at least until I get to the films. But what kind of bothers me about Evangelion is that not that the story itself is bad, but the idea that because it's so popular, people don't really pay attention to anything else that's come out since. That's kind of similar to it. Like this story, Eureka 7, Raza Fun. Like those animes just don't exist because Evangelion is way more popular. Even though these are really well thought out stories, and yes, do they only exist because of Evangelion? Absolutely. Same with Code Geass only exists because of Evangelion, which I'll next year I'm going to do a video discussing that exact topic. But just because these things came out from Evangelion, it doesn't mean we should just completely ignore them and not discuss them ever. Because this show was just really good. I was blown away. I had no expectations watching this, and I was like, oh my god, this is just unbelievable. Really good stuff. There's a way you guys can watch this show. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites that I watched this year. I don't have anything for Violet Evergarden because it's on Netflix. I can't there's no DVD footage of it either. I guess I could have taken screenshots. I don't know. I guess I can discuss that, but I won't show this. I'll just show another key animation that I do have. I'll show Clannad. It's not Clannad though, but I don't have anything from Violet Evergarden. I'll just show something from Clannad, or I'll just have images from the first episode after story. You know what? That's not spoilery. My bad. You probably shouldn't have seen that. Hold on. Hold up. I shouldn't show you after story. After story is the second season. That makes no sense. Okay. Here we go. First episode. Okay. So Violet Evergarden to me was also a complete surprise. One thing I'll say about it is that it was so beautifully animated. Like every single shot, I thought I was watching a full length film. Okay. I promise. It's the last time I discussed Evangelion. Last time, okay? The problem with the CGI in that film is that it felt very cheap. And when I watch shows like, let's say, Violet Evergarden, or even films that came out, let's say, 10 years before that, the use of CGI and special effects was better, and you couldn't tell it was actually being used. Your eye can detect fakeness, and you couldn't detect any of it in Violet Evergarden. But Evangelion, you could it was just rampantly in your face. It was so blatant that you couldn't take it seriously. Okay, enough of that. So with Violet Evergarden, I just like the whole story of this girl named Violet who worked with this colonel, and then she got separated from him, and she's kind of trying to figure out her humanity, kind of like C2 in some regard, only a more extreme case, I would say. She's a human soldier, only trained for one aspect, which is just killing, obviously, and her whole trying to figure out humanity and love was really beautiful. In each episode, man, each episode dived into a different aspect of love. You had love between parents, love between something if you're worked, love between two people. Because she was an automail down, so she was writing on a typewriter of different letters people send to each other. And there's so many episodes in the story where I don't know the key animation, but everything I watch there's makes me cry. I can watch other stuff and like what Shinji said in I think it was 23, the tears aren't coming. With key animation, the tears don't stop coming. There are so many wonderful scenes in Violet Evergarden that were just awe-inspiring, well thought out. Each person she helps out is a different case. It did a good job mixing action versus slice of life moments. The characters are very memorable, and they have their own things going on too, and they spend a lot of time with them. So it's just a really brilliant, well told story. Only 13 episodes, which you wouldn't think it, but it went by fast. Such an emotionally driven show. And one thing you guys should know is that I haven't watched Violet Evergarden since the first time I did, which was more like the start of this year. And I didn't watch the show in preparation for this review. But if you ask me for stream rather, but if you ask me specific questions about the story, I can still talk about it with such detail and reverence because that's how much it was so impactful and enjoyable to watch. Because again, when you tell a simple story, but you make it about things that are relatable, you make good, interesting characters, beautiful animation. It's amazing what you can accomplish again with so little. And Violet Evergarden was a masterpiece. People absolutely love this story. I'm not sure if it's better than Clannad in terms of key animation's best work, but my God, it was good. I don't know why it took me so long to watch that anime, but I'm glad I did. Violet Evergarden was definitely one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. That's we want to talk about milestone animation. Anything Key Animation does was a milestone animation. That company consistently pushes the bar. Well, then there's Miss Kodashi Dragon Maid season 2, which I have mixed feelings about, but that's why I regard that was such a good one. My God, that was that was man. that's one of those shows where you can only watch it. You watch it once, and it's like you can watch it again, obviously, but it's just not the same. That's a show where that first viewing has such impact. It's oh my god, absolutely love that one. Next show we're going to talk about is Beck. I recently reviewed it. No one watched the video, which is totally fine. I get it. This is not a Beck channel. Plus, no one cares anyways. Beck also probably came out between 1998 and 2001, I believe. And this anime is just so, oh my god, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen. I know I've said like several times in it, so it has like no meaning, but I legitimately mean it. Like this story had such relatable characters. It was so raw in the way they spoke to each other. It seemed like actual people, which I know seems strange considering it's animation and doesn't every show have like real people, but this felt that just felt like a real show. I can't explain it any way better. I can't explain it any better than that. It just felt like it was a legitimately a real show with a situation where kids is trying to develop his love for guitar and music. He joins a band and he falls in love with several different girls, I guess, and there's some fun stuff with that. It's a show about growing up, facing your fears, and doing what you always want to do in life, and how much you can change over a year, and making friends. And it's I don't know. There's just it's such a good anime, but there are some problems with it too. Like the ending is not the greatest. I will admit. I definitely wish they finished the manga before they finished the anime, or finished the anime after finished the manga. Either way, the story definitely is incomplete, so you know that going in. But beside that, though, like Back was just such a great anime. Definitely recommend this one too. There are some weird, like you see here, perverted elements to the story, but I don't know why. Except for like one character, it didn't really bother me too much. Besides the one character, her fan service was kind of disgusting. I think that was the point though, but I don't care. It was still bad. Like Ryusuke's sister, I just oh god. Other than that, I mean, it's fine, and it's not like it's too much in your face. But I'll definitely admit that the fan service in this anime was kind of because again these are 14-year-olds at some point, 14, 15-year-olds. I'm not sure what is with these animators. They love to make 14, 15-year-olds in very like suggestive situations. I'm not sure why they do that, and I really don't want to know because that might reveal some things I don't really want to know about Japanese culture. But either way, Beck was such a great story. It's not the most, I would say, deep story ever, but if you want to watch a story about kids growing up in life and starting a band, and actually like the story about like a band becoming big and successful, this is definitely it. It's got good characters, extremely lively individuals. You don't forget these people, even the side ones, which is another good aspect about the story too. I'd be a little perverted, but hey, that's the nature of the story, and lots of swearing too. Prepare for lots of swearing. So that's Becca in a nutshell. Next show I want to talk about is let's see if I can find it. This one I have like so mixed feelings on. That's why I'm not sure what I think about it honestly. So that is Ancient Mage's Bride. If you guys don't know about this story, again, it's not really talked about as much, but basically about this girl who gets sold. She gets sold into slavery to Elias. You know, that's she say, and Elias is like this Wendigo creature, and he wants to marry her as his wife. But because Elias doesn't really understand this stuff, he's kind of like a kid in a adult body. He's like really old, but not for his, I guess, his species. So he doesn't understand what it means to be a what marriage really means and love. So it's kind of funny because you would think that he would take care of her, but she takes care of him. It kind of reminds you of The Boy and the Beast. If you guys haven't seen that movie, speaking of which, why is it not on here? I watched The Boy and the Beast. Huh. That should be on my list too. But anyways, that's kind of the crux of this story. It's basically this girl named Chise is sold to Elias. They live in some magical world, and she learns to work with him, and they go on some crazy adventures. Not like too crazy, but just sort of things like that. It was the thing about this story is that I don't think it's bad. In fact, it's beautifully animated. The problem I had with it though was it had like two different tones at one point. It couldn't decide if it wanted to be a fun slice of life romance or want to be some kind of like hardcore fantasy, I don't know, horror story. And it kind of yeesh. it kind of blurred the line between the two. It was like I was watching two different stories at one point. They're all like I don't think either one was even done horribly. It's just that they kept switching the tones. Like one moment Chise's in a really bad situation that's like outright disturbing. The next she's hugging Elias. It's like, okay, what kind of story am I watching? I know you can have a good story where you have a mix of different things happening on screen, but it just felt like there were certain episodes where they were going in one direction and then others that went the opposite. The story lacked kind of focus on what tone it wanted to have. I think if they had gone with either direction, it would have been really good. One of the best scenes in this story is kind of a spoiler, but there's these dragons that they're really weird. They turn into trees when they die. It's really odd, and the dragons look forward to dying too because they become part of nature or something. Again, it's very creative. I'll give that much. But anyways, in the story, when she goes to one of the dragons that was like about to become a tree, she gets to like live its final thoughts, and it's a very beautifully animated scene that really touches you and makes you think about your own life. There's a lot of deep wisdom in this story, a lot of very creative characters. There's one I didn't like, but again, I guess it kind of worked. There might have been some grooming in this story, but that's debatable on how you define that. If I'm just like seeing things when they really shouldn't be there. Eliza's a great character. There's some weird chibi stuff where they have them animated in like a funny means. I don't have it here, but if you watch it, they'll show you that. There's obviously depression because she wanted to get sold to begin with. There's a lot of interesting themes that the show discuss. Overall, I definitely enjoyed it, and there's even some new content that just came out very recently. So if you want to jump into this story, this is definitely the best time because they just launched new content on Crunchyroll for the series, which I might check out at some point. I definitely didn't watch the OVAs because I felt like the last season of the story, if you want to call it that, was all right. Like this, by the way, this is more of him acting kind of funny. But it wasn't like the worst thing ever. I have like mixed feelings about the story. Overall, though, I definitely don't regret watching it. It was definitely a fun experience. And it's like the trifecta of the redheads. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's like three famous redheads that all look the same. So there's Chisei, what's her name? From Snow White Red Hair, and Yona the Dawn. What the hell's her name? Hold on. I can't remember Lee's name. That's really frustrating. Her name is what? I think it's Shirayuki, but I just don't remember. Snow White with the red hair. We're gonna discuss that next anyway, so let me get to that. Her name is Shirayuki. That's right. Yeah, is that the story? I think I would give this like an 8 out of 10 because I thought it was really good, and I definitely don't regret watching it. Just if you're gonna watch it, there's a lot of like really mixed tones in it. There's great characters, and you might feel things you didn't expect. I guess would be a good way to put it. Okay, the next story I want to talk about is Snow White with red hair. This is a. Let me get to the before I finish talking about it. Snow White Red Hair is a classic fantasy story. I mean, the name is called Snow White Red Hair for a reason. It's basically the journey of Shirayuki, and she falls in love with Zen, who is the guy with. I'm not sure if he's in the first. He's probably in the first episode because she gets rescued. Yeah, this is Zen. He's a prince, and the whole story is the two of them falling in love. I don't think any spoilers by saying that's the plot of the story since it's literally a romance. It's very cute, doesn't take any real chances, and it's more of a fun slice of life. Don't expect like any really serious stuff happening here. After all, it's a fairy tale type story. Between this one and Mage's Bride, I saw a lot of similarities between the two, which makes sense because they were very similar ideas behind them. Both a romance between two people. A redhead is like your main character. There are certain aspects where they face certain challenges, although I will say Mage's Bride had way more than this story. It's cute. This is a cute anime if you don't want with beautiful animation. It's not very deep and it's not meant to be, and that's why I enjoyed it. It's just a very simple story. If you want a simple romance, fairy tale type of thing, beautifully animated, it's very cliche, like completely cliche. I did recommend it. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I think that's how most people tend to do as well. Next story I want to talk about is where is it? This I want to talk about is Mobile Suit Gundam 00. This anime, when I watched this story, and I mean this in all honesty, of course, why if I didn't, why would I not say it? But I kept saying to myself, man, where has this show been my whole life? I mean, this show was like Code Geass mixed with other elements. Like, if you ever want to know, like, hey, what if a Code Geass went to space? Just watch Double O. It's literally that. This story is unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. Combining elements of Full Metal Panic and Code Geass, other great animes, into a fun mecha story with great characters, such cool mobile suits, especially especially his, not that guy's, this one, the main one that's written by what the hell's his name? FSA, I believe his name is. What the hell did he drive again? God, these names are so confusing. He drove he piloted. There's like two different ones between the versions. I think this was called. Hold on. This is over here. I didn't move it over. My bad. 1 second. I forgot the name of these stupid. Again, what? Hold on. My computer's acting really stupid. I promise now it's actually cooperating. Okay. All right, we're okay. Okay, now the double O, right? That's the double O riser. Was it always? I thought it was another version he used as well. That wasn't the double O riser. FSA. What else did he pilot? There was one before that. It was called the. What do you pilot? So I'm on the Wikipedia page in case you're wondering. Exia. That's it. The Exia. But all of them are really cool too. Like this is the one I was talking about. This right here, the Exia. That's like later on towards the end. That's kind of a spoiler. But Double O was just really good. And if I ever run out of stuff to do for Code Geass related topics in this live streams, I definitely want to go through this story. It's such a shame that this anime came out at the wrong time. Because if this anime came out today, you couldn't even tell that it was an older show with like when it came out, like 2010 or something. The animation is just unbelievable for its time. Like you're looking at this, and this could be this year's anime, and you wouldn't tell the difference. The action's great. It's got great characters. Like this is Graham Ager, for example. And there's there's so many good elements to this story. The combat is great. There's like even deep elements too about philosophy and war. I mean, heck, the whole premise, you have the what are they called? Celestial being, right? They're trying to rid the world of war and conflict. That's what Schoenberg? That's not his name. That guy who invented all of them. And because of that, like there's just this whole element of how should we end war, and there's different struggles, certain characters. Like one part with Louise Hallaby and her whole story. It's really sad, but it's a great part of the story. FSA's background in the Middle Eastern country with that guy who raised them, which is kind of like Full Metal Panic. The story is such brimming with life and great characters and great action. It's one of those things where I just watched it and I was just immediately hooked on this story. The intros are great too, by the way. That's my fifth burp of this stream. What the hell's wrong with me? I mean, there's definitely, even looking at this story, a lot of Evangelion influence. But again, it's still a good story. And just because it only might have existed because of Evangelion doesn't mean it's a bad story. And I think that's the problem again. We don't focus on these anime because they're not Evangelion. Or they're just passed off as simple clones. But this story was fantastic. I mean, there's Lock On, for example. Oh, God, Lock On. Man, I can't discuss the story without spoiling things, but I'll just say as much. This is such a great anime. If you like Code Geass and want to know what it would have been like if they went into space, this is the anime to watch. On some respect, this kind of improves on some of Code Geass's failures, because unfortunately there are some, but it also makes its own too. Like, this is not a perfect show by any means. The endings, I always say endings, but like it's true. Some endings are just not that great. But what is great though are the characters, the makeup stuff, the mobile suits. Man, God, this show is unbelievable. I know I'm not saying a whole lot, so you don't know why. I don't want to spoil anything, but if you guys want an experience like Code Geass, definitely recommend this one. This anime definitely left its mark. I want to talk about it at some point in the future. Either it be on live streams or like a whole video discussion. So that's Mobile Suit Gundam 00. All right, I'm gonna be dishonest because I said I wasn't gonna talk about Evangelion, but unfortunately I kind of have to when discussing his next show, which is where is it? Here it is. And that's Razafon. Razafon was basically touted as this clone of Evangelion. And to be fair, there's definitely a lot of similarities, but it also differentiates itself significantly. And I'll say one about Razafon, like on the get go. This is a bit of a spoiler, but I doubt any of you are gonna watch it anyways. But Razafon's ending made more sense, had better setup than Evangelion. And what's funny to me is that Evangelion or Razafon was accused for ripping off Evangelion, yet Evangelion's ending, Thrice Upon a Time, ripped off from this story. In fact, when I was watching, I'm like, wait a minute, I know I've seen this before, and I realized this is exactly from Razafon. So these guys are like, this show copied out that one, really? And what did you do exactly? Man, I'm really angry today. But let's tell the positives about this story. There's a lot. The characters, I like them all. That's Ayato, by the way. Um, oh my god, I forgot their names. They have like some kind of past, and it's a very here we go. Hiroku, yes, Hiroku. That's why I look at the subtitles. I can know who's who. Bayato, he's a 17-year-old kid, or almost adult, who has to pilot the Razafon to help everyone in Earth after he leaves Tokyo Jupiter. There's different characters too. You have Haruka, which is Haruka, by the way. And she helps him escape from Tokyo Jupiter because they all believe, by the way, that like Earth is, there's only 6 million people, and that's all in Tokyo. But apparently, they didn't know that the outside world actually exists. They thought it was wiped out in some means. There's this girl who helps him out. I can't say who she is. That's a spoiler. He ultimately travels to the other world where he has to fight these Dolems that are run by the Mulians. There's just so much good stuff in this anime. Good symbolism, good metaphors, good action in it too. And just like Evangelion, it kind of goes on the same topics. But I like how it spins. It takes a good spin on different parts of Evangelion when they, if you want to compare the two, which again is very fair to do so. But I just, even now, after going all the Kogi, not Kogi, all the Evangelion stuff, I still think Razvan was a much better story. You can watch the story maybe twice and you get the whole picture. There's like one video online that explains the whole thing if you're really confused. But what I like about that video too is when the guy explains how Razafon works, the whole story, he's not like grasping for straws or trying to come up with a deep interpretation. He's just literally taking what the story tells us and just interpret and just putting it all together. Because this story is like a puzzle. All the pieces are thrown on the table, you got to put it all together. But all the puzzle pieces exist. Where Evangelion, the puzzle pieces don't all exist, and half you got to make up on your own. And this story doesn't do that. It's much more coherent in that respect. Not to say that Razafon's not out there, because it definitely is, but in a much better extent than Evangelion. From just a Razafon point of view, like there's a lot of like music in this one. It involves on Egyptian mythology, like it's called Ra, like the god of Ra, the creator. So they use Egyptian mythology instead of using an Evangelion, which is Christian mythology, which is obviously not as popular. I mean, people are more associated with Adam and Eve and Lilith, right, than they are of, let's say, I don't know, Ra, Osiris. Not as familiar with that stuff. I don't know. The story was fantastic. There were great payoffs in it. I liked the Dudley Boys, the dynamics between Ayato, Megami, and Hiroku. Even the whole thing with Haruka, like even though it was kind of weird, I still thought it was really well done in that respect as well. It's a pretty short anime, and I got through it pretty quickly. I was very hooked on it from episode 1 to the end. It was a really well-told story, and I love the animation too. I know some people don't like this style, but to me, this always captivated me when I was watching it. Bones made this story, by the way, and Bones is a fantastic company. So that's that. That's my thoughts on Razafon. I know it's on High Dive, so if you don't want to pay for High Dive, I guess you could find it either leaked online or, you can always get it from the library if you don't want to pay the price. Either way, though, I love this anime, and I don't know why. I just did. I do know why. So good. Much better than Evangelion. Okay, next I want to talk about is Free. This is completely random. This is like completely unrelated to anything else I've been discussing. I feel like it's about a swim team. I don't know what it is about this story. I really loved it. I watched Dive into the Future, and I also watched Eternal Summer. Eternal Summer is the last year of high school for our main characters, and Dive into the Future is a sequel to that. I just really enjoyed this series. Why? I don't know. It's not really that special. It's like K-On! If you guys have watched that one, where it's a bunch of girls in that story making a band. Free is a bunch of guys forming a swim team and their growth together. And you got people who are really obsessed with it. There's rivalries between Haru and Rin, and and even Nagisa and Ray. I mean, it's funny. They all have girls' names, even though they're guys. It's one of the jokes in the story. What I love about this is that how they all grow up and how in this particular season, I think Eternal Summer, they're talking about their futures in college, and I love the whole dynamics behind that because I mean I haven't been in college in a long time, but I remember like not knowing what to do in my life, and they clearly go through those same emotions. There's parts where because Haru is an excellent swimmer, everyone wants him to be like this professional athlete and go into college and stuff, but he doesn't really want that either. He's not really a competitive type, even though he competes. It's kind of weird. So there's a whole dynamic between that aspect to his character and it's there's a lot of like really great memorable scenes. It's not like the show won't blow your mind or anything. It's not going to like change the game. But if you want a simple, fun slice of life with great characters that grow through a series of episodes that go from high school to college, I believe even beyond now, since there's films coming out too, which excites me. This is a good anime for you. I love all the characters. Um, and I know people have like the wrong opinions about this story, and I think you guys can tell as I look through the photos what exactly I'm talking about. But it's really not that at all, and it kind of pisses me off that people compare it to Yuri and Ice, which is more blatant in that regard. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with the show being like that. I'm just saying that people completely miscategorize it because they think it's that one aspect. Because boys on a swim club must mean but it's not. It's not really at all. If you're thinking that, it's not. Again, not a problem if it was, but let's like categorize what it is and not what isn't. For fetishizing purposes is why I'm mentioning that. Yeah, this was great. A lot of fun moments. The emotional highs are unbelievable. Same with Dive into the Future. Yeah, Freeze good. There were two characters in the last season I didn't like, but other than that, absolutely loved Free. Dive into the Future. Let's see, I don't want to talk about. Oh, what's up, Marty and Me? And I think that'll be the last one I'll talk about. I don't think I have any footage from that one. I don't think I have any what's it called images. No, I don't. So I'll grab I'll add the film. Marty and Me. This will be the last video I'll talk about. Then we'll go into like recapping the year. Marty and Me is an interesting movie. It's a Ghibli film, but it was not made by what the hell is his name? Miyazaki. It's not a Miyazaki film, but it was made by Ghibli. And the story is, well, it's about a girl who sees this other person in a. She goes. Basically, she has like. I'm trying to remember exactly. It's been a while since I watched this movie, but let me just. I don't want to. I'll just pick a random point, a frame, and stop at. Yeah. So our main character here, she's going through like a bad time in life. So she's living with her relatives, I believe, and she sees this house, and she goes there consistently to find a girl named Marnie, and they become good friends. But ultimately, there's like a bigger aspect to it, which I can't spoil because that's the whole point of the movie. And throughout the whole experience, you're trying to figure out who the heck Marnie is and her connection to this girl and why she sees her, and is she real or not? There's like a whole like elements to that. I think it's played well, and the twist in this film is very good. However, the only thing I'll say about Marnie is there or what is it? Is there or was there? What I write? When Marnie was there, right? Okay. Yeah, was there. Okay. There's the character herself, this person here. I didn't like her that much. She kind of seemed really obnoxious. And when I was watching the film, I was like, wait, why are you acting like that? It was kind of weird. I don't know. Not my favorite Ghibli film, I would say. But look, I'll give the credit. The story they're trying to craft, I think, was really well done. Some parts of the execution weren't, but the overall twist I thought was fantastic. And it was a very well emotional story, and they kept throwing hints about certain stuff. And this is one film where I'd recommend if you watch it once to watch it again, because then you can like look back and say, oh, that's when that's the hint to that, and that's the hint to there. Like you can put the pieces together. It's one of those type of films. Like any Ghibli film, I can tell you, even if it's not good, you can still relax to it. I know what it is about the whole Ghibli atmosphere with their stories, but they're all fantastic films in that regard. This is not my like top 10 of their stuff, but it's not like the bottom 30 either. It's like in the middle. It's a mid film with a good story and good characters. Some oddies here and there, but overall, it's a good movie. Not saying a whole lot there because I can't. It's one of those films where like it's like a spoiler or nothing, unfortunately. Um, Yeah, there was stuff I watched like Bakano. Bakano was great. It was like a Quentin Tarantino anime. Fantastic. Ghost Story is hilarious. It's the best dub ever. It's literally like, you know how like we have abridged stories like Code Ment or Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged or Team Four Star. Well, before those existed, Ghost Stories was basically when the dubbing cast was told, "Hey, you can just do whatever you want," and that's basically what they did in Ghost Stories. Very funny. That's one of the best dubs ever. Not because accurate, just because it's funny. Good stuff there. I watched Bungo Stray Dogs, and I didn't like the first season. I heard it gets better after that. Maybe I'll jump into it after that in season 2 and 3 and on and so forth. I think the fourth is coming out actually like this year, so maybe I'll jump into that series. But overall, I didn't really like it too much. It felt too much like other things I've seen in the past. There wasn't too much brand new aspects to it. But then again, I don't want to go further into it because I didn't like it. I don't want to rant about it. Okay, so that's my thoughts on the anime I've watched this year. It wasn't a whole lot. It's when I look past back at my stuff, like I think like 1 year in 2019 I watched like 30, 40 shows. 2020 I watched like 20, 30 shows. This year I watched like what, 10? It wasn't much at all, unfortunately. My goal for next year is to watch more anime because this year I didn't watch too much. So that's that. The last thing we're going to do on this stream, well, not the last thing, but I'm going to talk about the year as a whole, just how things went making videos. So I got to take a break. I got to use the facilities. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Come on. All right, let's close this out. Let me close this out. We don't need any more Reen fan service right now, so just close this out. Only anime I watched this year. Didn't seem like a lot, but these shows are pretty impactful. Okay, someone asked about the masks. You mean these? Hold on. Where are they? Where are you? These things here? Yeah, these are creatures from Sea's World. I don't know. The plot hasn't really explained anything, so that's the case you're wondering what that is. All right, let's talk about this year because there's a lot to discuss. In fact, you know what? I'll do something else. I don't need Christmas stuff. Let me get out of here. I'll give you guys something actually interesting to look at while I talk about how this year went and videos I worked on and stuff like that. So I'll show you guys the new feature that just came out. I'll even set it up accordingly. And you guys, you can tell me which people you want in the room at any given time. Just like drop, hey, put these people in there. So all right, I'm gonna just change the furniture here. I'm gonna put everything away and start over. Hold on. This is a new room feature that just came out in Just Area Code, and basically you can put furniture, have your characters out there. It's not the best feature ever. There's definitely some things I don't like about it, but overall, I think the concept is great. Okay, we need more furniture space. That's the problem, and I don't want these windows. Let me get rid of that. This is fine though. Let's just move that around. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add some furniture. So you can add different things here. I'll bring in a chair. So we'll have a little come sits of all our characters in the story. So let's see. I'll grab some more chairs. I'll have this one face this way because they can talk to each other. Okay. Let's see. How about another chair? We'll put this one maybe in the middle. Yeah, that's good. And then I'll bring in a table. That's kind of cool. Can people interact with the table? What else do we got? In honor of Chris. Well, Chris was already ended. But whatever. We'll put it anyways. There's a little. Put that guy in here. Add a tree. Bring that here. And then I will add in a. We got a lot of couches. Let's add couches so people can sit. How about I move this over here? Okay, so I think it's a couch. I hope it's a couch. What else would it be? I'll bring this a little bigger couch. Okay, and then we can have the chair in front. I'll switch it like this. Bring this chair and switch like that. Okay. I think that's. I hope this is a couch. Well, whatever. We'll say it's a couch. Hopefully, the game acknowledges it as such. A bunch of stuff in this. I'm not sure. There's a bunch of things you can add. I'm not sure if they're any valuable or not. Like what's a high chair. Yeah, it's not a very high stool. Okay. Then I'll add. What is this? What's the significance of this? Is that a ramp or something? It seems like it's kind of in the way. I don't know. Doesn't seem that good to me. What else we got here? A table. All right, I guess we can put that in there. All right, now I'll just save it like that. This is this is a very simple and bam. Okay, now I'll take the characters out because I know you guys don't like these people, so I'll put in more fan favorites. So I'll put Lucian there. Cornelia is a fan favorite, but I'll let's see. Lloyd. I'll take out Ino since no one knows who she is anyways. I'll put Shirley in there. Sayako. I'm not putting Tamaki. Maybe Akito. Oh, that's fine. Oh, Alderaan. Where's Alderaan? We'll put her in instead. Where's Alderaan? Alderaan, where are you? Okay. Okay, cool. Now you can look at these guys while I talk about how this year went. All right, so this year was kind of crazy. It started off with the announcement of Janissary Code and Zeta Recapture. That was like literally the first thing that happened this year. I think it was actually in December, I believe, when they announced both those things coming out. Unfortunately, since the announcement, we haven't gotten much for Zeta Recapture, which kind of upsets me, but doesn't surprise me either. So that was kind of the first major thing that happened this year was those announcements. My first video I ever released came out right before the announcement. It was a discussion about where I thought Code Geass was going and like possible ideas for futures of the story. And I was wrong, of course. Well, actually, you know what? We haven't seen the sequel yet, so I don't know. I'm probably wrong though. And it was that video was awful. By the way, I watched it recently, and the audio was just god awful, man. Cracking all over the place. My audio is not good even now, but it was much worse then. One of my goals for next year is to fix my audio problems because I noticed that I watched the videos. The audio is still not where I like it to be, and I think I have to get some better equipment or do a better job making a room to have house the audio. I think the problem is just I have really tall ceilings. I think that's what affects the quality. The microphone could be bad too. Who the hell knows? But that was so that was how the first year or my first cut video started. The best video I made was this one, or I don't know the best one I made, but a video that I made that was really good was the Colin. So let's see if I can find it. One second. So here it is. So let's go back to the very beginning. Very beginning. So this video here I made was my first video that got me to 1,000 views in a video. And when that happened, by the way, you gotta understand, I was really excited because I tried YouTube many years ago for a different topic on a different subject matter, and I couldn't even get 100 views on a video. If I tried really hard, I just couldn't do it. So the fact that I got 1,000 views on one video, it blew my mind at the time. You guys have no idea. In that video too, like I just want you guys to know, like I'm proud of it. Obviously, every video I made, I'm proud of on some level. But that video, like it took me, like the thumbnail was still kind of bad, and some points I made, I don't think were even accurate. I definitely got some stuff wrong. I notice a lot of my videos when I go through them, the information I've stated, I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong episode. Oh, damn it. It's so frustrating too because, as a YouTuber, you got to upload consistently to keep up. So if you don't upload consistently, you can lose momentum. So I had to constantly pump out videos as fast as possible. But the problem is when I did that, I often messed up. I often messed up things, and there were a couple of videos I was watching recently. I was like, "Oh no, that's the wrong episode." And it was a lot of that making these videos, but this video I'm very proud of it because it got me to 1,000 views, which was crazy at the time. If you're curious about milestones, by the way, here they are. So on February 18th, I got 50 subs. February 21st, I reached 100. March 10th, I got to 500, which was around here when I was Oculus Exile. Because in this video here, at see, I reached 500 subs at this time. And if I go to later on a little bit, there's a little celebration I did with like Lloyd saying "Hip Hip Hooray." Where is it? Oh, maybe I just missed it. Now see this one here. I reached 500 subs. I was very excited about that at the time. And this video too, Oculus Exile, since we're on the topic, this video was this was one of my favorite videos I made the whole year. It was a lot of work, and I really put a lot of passion into it. A lot of the analysis too was just, I really enjoyed this series for what it was, and there were so many facets to discuss, and I meant it seriously when I said this. It's 30 minutes long, and I had more to say, and that's like still accurate to this day. Like this video is 33 minutes long, and I still have more stuff I want to talk about, and I never got a chance to do when discussing Untitled Exile. For a show that had a lot of flaws, man, there was so much good in this story, and it's disappointing that people don't even acknowledge its existence or even care to even learn about it at any given point. So it's, I guess I call it an underrated gem, and this was like a very significant video of my YouTube, I guess, journey, because I got to 500 subs, which I thought was pretty crazy, and then I got to 1,000, which was like, whoa, what the hell? And that was in July, so it took me like 4 months to get to that point. Like I started uploading, I think in November, so it took me a considerable amount of time to get to 1,000. I kept saying in each of my videos, "Hey guys, I want to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the year or something," which I surpassed it. My goal for next year is to try to get to 10K, maybe 100. I know that's like, whoa, man, that's crazy. But at least 10K, I think we can do it. There's a lot of ideas I have for videos, and if certain things go the way I hope they do, then it could definitely happen. So, there is that. This video here is my most viewed total video of all time, which is Who to Lose Love. And I gotta be honest, when I made this video, I had no thought it was gonna be this popular, because I don't know, I put a lot of thought into it, but I didn't think it was gonna be like this well received by people. And it wasn't initially, by the way. When I first got this video out there, it wasn't doing that well, and then there was some kind of, I don't know, YouTube pushed it or something. I'm not sure exactly what caused it to go viral when it did, but it was pretty cool, and it's definitely one of my favorite videos I made. And story about this video too, I actually made an article that discussed the topic previously, and a lot of people gave me responses to it that were both very critical and also kind of nasty, but it's totally fine. I get it. People are very passionate about this topic. But anyways, after I took the feedback from those critiques, I made the script for this video to properly, how do I put this, to properly explain all the parts that people might misconstrue, and to be more objective as possible. Because I made in my article, I admit in my article I made some leaps of faith about like it was obvious that C2 loved Lelouch. At this part here in the story, where is it? When C2's with Lelouch at the very end, it was obvious that they were going to kiss or something. And the people were telling me, well, is it really obvious? I'm like, I thought it was. But then I thought about it later. I'm like, I guess it's not, because at the same time, though, yeah, there was that scene, but we don't know what's going to happen. This one here, when Lelouch and C2 kind of meet for the first time, or not first time, but their last conversation in the series in turn 24. Like, we didn't know where this was going to lead. I was like, so I learned not to make too many leaps of faith and be as objective as possible. That's why I said in the video, like, it's most likely the case what was going to happen here. So that's why I thought this video would be really good. Unfortunately, a lot of people have commented on this video saying stuff like, it was so weird. Like, they wrote comments about how, like, have you considered resurrection? I'm like, yeah, if you look at the very first disclaimer, I said, like, I'm not taking resurrection into account, because resurrection, we, like, right here. What was it? Right here in the video. See? R1, R2, because the alternate universe, they make it very clear who Lelouch ends up with. So I was like, yeah, I took into account. Why you ask? I literally put it in, like, the introduction. Also, this was made using Adobe Spark. It was pretty bad. I don't use that crap anymore. But it's like, I thought I made it very clear. But I guess not. This video took me a long time to make, too, surprisingly. This is when I was still learning how to use Resolve, because one of my earlier videos. And I still don't know everything about Resolve. I've gotten a lot better. I was very proud of the video, and I'm very proud of the responses I got from it. I was very surprised. This is a good example too of a video where I didn't think it was going to do too well, but what I did was I changed the thumbnail, and it actually improved the whole, like, reception of the video. This thumbnail is garbage, but people don't seem to care too much. But anyways, just going through it. So that was kind of the journey. It took me a while to get to 1,000 subscribers. There were 4 videos that were the hardest to make. You guys don't realize how difficult they were. It was this video, important change between the films and the anime, the watch order, the kill count, and Reign of Darkness. These 4 videos were so arduous to make. Let's discuss this one first. The death count, which still hasn't done that well, which I don't care. I loved making this video, but I won't lie. It was a pain in the ass. So the way Resolve worked was, like, you see how you have these texts here? These are like a composition to themselves in Resolve. Not to go too complicated with it, but basically, these are like I'm trying to think, like an asset that has to render out. And I first tried doing this whole video in one project, and it was taking hours to render the damn thing out. So I had to take the assets I made for each individual scene's deaths. Then I had to put it into put it into a separate project. So each episode you see here, each one, these are all separate projects I had to combine at the end, because this thing took forever to render out. This thing took way too long to make. It doesn't look like there was a lot of effort put into this, but my God, rendering this project was not fun at all. And I've come up with strategies to I come up with strategies to make this better for the next one. I'm working on, by the way, the one for R2, and I'm going to make that much better. Because now I learned so much from making this video what not to do, that the next one I make is going to be much better, more intuitive, and more fun. Because this video had some issues with, like, the enjoyment of watching all the kills. Even though I enjoyed this video, I watch it personally all the time. And one of my goals of making a video is making something that I personally would want to watch. And also a reference too, because sometimes I legitimately don't remember what happened in what episode. So I actually make these compilation videos for my own benefit, so I can revisit them later. So there is that. But this video was, oh my God, this video was such a pain in the ass to make. Another thing you guys should know is, like, the text here, I made Photoshop images for each one of these, where I actually put I baked it in, as they call it. But I should have made this dynamic within the software itself. So if in case, let's say I wanted to change the wording here, I'd have to rechange the whole asset to remake it. It was oh my God, this video was such a pain in the ass to make. But it was still fun though. I don't have no regrets making it, but man. was a hard video. This one here, Ray of Darkness, this one also took me forever to make because what I did was I made like almost every manga image, like from the manga itself, animate like this. And see, I didn't know at the time that Resolve had means to like template all this, so you don't have to do every single image individually. I was basically giving treatment to every single image during these animation scenes, or not animating scenes, animating these manga pages, and there was actually no reason to do that. So again, like the kill count, I learned a lot from making this video about how to do Resolve and how to make things better going forward. The other reason why this video was also a pain in the ass to make is because Reign of Darkness, if you haven't read it, is like a very overly complex story for no freaking reason. So if you like, this is a pretty good, I feel like, even going through it again, a really good summary of the entire story, including spoilers and like the deep thoughts about it. But my God, this story was so confusing and so irritating. Like, it didn't have to go this route, but it was just ugh. But yeah, you see how like every single like part had like animations galore. Like, I really went crazy with it, and it took me hours to get this done. It was just a very very difficult video to make. A lot of frustrations. We're trying an hour trying to figure out how to do certain things. No regrets, but man, God, I hate corgis so much. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like this was a fun one to make. I might have overdone a little bit of the animations, but I really wanted to really encapsulate everything that made Reign of Darkness an amazing manga, or not manga. Just like discussed all the parts about it, the good and the bad. But yeah, this one was painful. Also, manga is hard to do. I don't know what it is. I'm not good at discussing manga like I do anime. You'd think there'd be no difference, but there is, and that's another thing that kind of happened when making this story. The art problem to Reign of Darkness when I made this video is that the article I wrote had like, I don't know, like 20 pages. It was some crazy number. So I had to like take out parts to make this because I literally went crazy in that article. I discussed everything, like all the detail of the nightmares in this story, Renya's arm, the battle against Dash, what it all meant with Claire getting Dash's girlfriend back to life. You two over here. There were so many elements of Reign of Darkness I didn't even discuss in this video, which is why I wanted to do like offshoot videos discussing this. For example, I've discussed this many times, but I haven't yet to do it. It's one of my goals for next year to discuss Renya's arm, to discuss the nightmares. I did at least discuss the difference between Luge and Dash, but other than that, I haven't really gone further into the story besides this one video. So I definitely want to revisit it at some point. But that's kind of the story about this one. This was a really difficult one to make. It didn't seem like it would be, but it was. Timing in animations is not fun. The next one I want to discuss is this one, the watch order for Kogias. This one was also very painful because I think I made this on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's how I spent my day off, by the way, making this video. That was like my goal to get this done in one day. And there was so much discussed in this video. It was so dense. Like it's like 26 minutes, so you think it's not so long, but I had to come up with all these assets and put them together. And like this all comes from the DVD collection that I picked up. The Blu-rays, which are right here. So I had to do like a lot of screenshotting for every damn thing. It was not fun getting the assets for this video, but it was fun making it though, and people seem to like it because it's a very discussed topic. There's another video, I won't say the channel's name, who's discussed the watch order, and the video was god awful, but it kind of pissed me off that it has like 100,000 views. Not because I'm jealous that he has more than me, but more like I watched the video and the actual information provided, I don't think is very helpful. It's like, here's what's in the Kogias universe. Okay, and that's it. Just watch in this order. But when people ask about the watch order when it comes to Kogias, they're not just asking you what exists. They're asking you what order to watch it in. And, what's the goals behind it? Should I watch the OVA? Should I not watch the OVA? Should I read the manga? Not read the manga? What about the films? What about the picture dramas? What about the audio dramas? Like all these things in mind. And that didn't take that into account. And this video here gives you everything about the Kogias anime universe. You have the audio dramas, the picture dramas. You have the OVAs, this lovely stuff, the original series, the films, all that stuff. How do you, like things to think about when considering watching these shows? So that's kind of, and where to watch it too, which is important. So I was kind of frustrated that, well, whatever, it is what it is. That video came out first. That's ultimately what it was. This video took me so long to make. It's packed with so much information. I'm very proud of it. People have pointed out, by the way, that I made a lot of mistakes in it, which is totally fine because, again, I made this in one day. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could make a video in one day, and I did. And it was, Jesus, it was hard. It took me forever to make this video. Oh my God. It was still fun though, but it was a pain in the ass. I'll say that much. Also, I don't have like captions on here for other stuff. I should add that in there. This was a fun video though. I'm very proud of it too. Like I legitimately am. Like when I look back at the channel, I'm glad this thing got a significant amount of views, and I'm more happy that or happier that people actually comment saying like this actually helped me out. This explained everything. I'm like that's all I cared about in reality. Just when you watch this story or this video, do you know what to do next? Because I like feedback. I want to make these videos really good, and if I don't get feedback about what was the did this help you or not, I don't really know how to make videos better going forward. So I'm glad that people actually give me some legitimate feedback about these videos. And you guys argue with me all the time in the comment section, and I love it. Keep telling me why I'm wrong. It makes me happy, legitimately. It makes me very happy to say, you're completely wrong here, or you misinterpret that. It's totally fine. In fact, one of my most proudest comments on any of my videos is not even something I said, was this. So in this video here, I discussed how when Shirley was with Lelouch, I made this mistake. I really feel I was so stupid. It's one of those like, we'll discuss my blunders later, but here's one of the biggest ones. So in this video, let's see. I said here that this wasn't even Lelouch at the time. This was actually Psycho disguised as Lelouch. And it was Lelouch because they split up when he went out of the through that area they were hiding in. I think it was the OSI. Actually, where were they hiding in? Now I think about it. But it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so he was hiding in this secret area. He came out to see what's going on. And because of what the Mordred did, the two of them ended up together. And this was Lelouch the whole time. It was not Psycho. So someone said here, it was Lelouch in that scene. So I actually pinned it because I screwed up big time. And when I made my video about Shirley and Lelouch, which was right here. So I talked about the relationship between. God, my voice is so awful. How do you guys tolerate this? But anyways, in this video here, I mentioned how like in this story, I messed up in that video there, and I apologize for it because I actually screwed up. So that was a big mistake. Another thing too I made in this video, since we're on the topic, I mentioned how like Shirley only got upset when Lelouch focused on Colin and no one else. That's not actually true though, because she got upset when Lelouch was with other girls in Turn 12. So the story only focused on Lelouch and Colin, or Colin. God dang it. The video only discussed how Shirley got upset when Lelouch was with Colin, but she was upset with other girls as well. Again, a lot of nuance there I totally screwed up on. But be as may, I'm still, and that's the thing I like about this video too. I was proud of this video because I was able to fix past mistakes while also discussing this relationship that I thought was actually pretty good in the story, despite the fact it had like almost no development in it. My one biggest things I'm happy about is I get very excited when I'm able to go through the story and find something that was not very significant or seemingly not significant and find like deep meaning behind it. And this is an example where Shirley and Lelouch was actually a very deep relationship. It's just that you have to really like look harder to find it, if that makes any sense. Like it's not as outright like C2 and Lelouch. So there's that element to it as well. And I try, by the way, in every single video, if I made a mistake in the past, I tried to correct it. Not necessarily saying I made a mistake, but like going forward, like don't say that ever again. I'll give you an example that was really embarrassing. Okay, I'm not making this up. I think it was this video here. I'm not going to play the audio because I hate the way I sound. But I think I said Gawain. Okay, I think I called the nightmare frame the Gawain. All right, now it's the Gawain, of course, right? But I was calling it the Gawain. And I was like, oh my God, did I really say Gawain? Oh my God. Oh, wow. I don't know if it was in this video, but one of these discussing nightmare frames, I called it the gay win. All right. What else do you have to say? You're probably, if anyone watched that video, they're probably thinking, does this guy actually watch the series? And I'm like, I guess so. I guess not. I mean, it's obviously called the Wayne, but I called it the gay win. Common idiot. So I made sure going forward to never pronounce it gay win ever again. Stuff like that. That's how stupid I was in some of these videos. Oh, this video here. So this one was great because, oh my god. So I read this. Here's a story about this one, man. I got a story for days. So this video here, I made this one because I was on my phone scrolling and I found this article from CBR. I was like, "Are you serious?" So I read through it. And I was just screaming, like out loud in my bedroom, like a madman. And my neighbor were listening. You're probably thinking, "What the hell is wrong with that guy?" And I was like, "This is the stupidest article I've ever read in my life." I literally like recorded my. Sometimes I will preemptively, if I'm about to go on a rant, but I don't want to make a video or write a script, I'll open my recorder and I'll just an audio recorder. I'll just scream into the audio recorder and play it back tomorrow or next day, whatever it is, to hear what I said so I don't miss anything. I recorded like a whole, I don't know, 30-minute discussion of why this article was such crap, and I got a chance to discuss it in this video because it just, oh my god. CBR articles on Kogias were so asinine. This one was also as bad. This one is actually even worse because in this article here, they literally like, this is a factual thing, by the way, right? We're not discussing opinions. We're not discussing what you thought about whatever. This is simply like, okay, what happened in the story, point for point. And they got it wrong. I mean, how do you mess that up? Out of curiosity, did they still have it wrong? It's like months later. Is it still wrong? I'm just curious. Let's see. Is it still wrong? Yeah, it's still wrong. Oh my god, it is still wrong. Oh my god, they still fudge this up. This article is so bad. They never corrected these pieces of crap. Man, CBR. I mean, it's crazy because like, how do you mess this up? It literally tells you, and not really tell. Yeah, like the order is. Oh my god, those videos were just pure. How do I put this? They were pure therapy, absolute therapy. So those meant a lot to me as well. This video here, the C2 and the Lelouch, this one also was a great one because my most proudest part about this video was this one area here where Lelouch and C2 are arguing. After like Mao gets involved in the story, right here. So I made this connection, and I'm not saying I'm some kind of genius because I'm not. I'm anything but. Let's be honest. But this part here in the video. Hold up. Okay. Where Lelouch tells C2, "You're a monster. You give Bill Gies contracts. Who would ever want to be with you, right?" And I kept thinking, like, man, C2 looked really upset about that comment he made. And then at the very end of the story, the very end, she asked Lelouch, "Are you upset that I, changed?" Where was it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was here, right? She says like, "Are you upset?" Right here. She asked him, "Are you upset that I changed your life forever? If I hadn't given you Gias, you wouldn't have gone this route." And Lelouch tells her like, "No, actually, I chose to do this, and it was all me. I made the decision. Gias got me the right path. I'm actually thankful you did this for me." And she's thinking like this whole time, like this smile, not this. Hold on, right here. This smile comes from a point of happiness where she was thinking like, "Oh my god, I didn't ruin your life." This whole time, I think she was thinking from that one point in an episode, which I showed earlier with Mao, I think it was 15, that Lelouch didn't hate her anymore. He actually forgave her. He took responsibility for himself and said, "You know what? It was my fault. I chose you the Gias. I chose to go down this route. All you did was help me go down that path. But other than that, it was all me." And it really added so much depth to this relationship, more than I even thought about. I really love that whole dynamic between how C2 was holding on to this for so long, and before the two of them depart to end the series, they both walk away with closure. Even though they don't get a chance to confess their love, unfortunately, because of Colin being a cock block. But then again, C2 was also a cock block to Lelouch and Colin. But even though that they don't confess their love for each other, the fact that they got to have this conversation where both of them walked away with closure. C2 knows that whatever happens to Lelouch going forward, he doesn't blame her for what happened, and it's not her fault. And with Lelouch, he wants to go and obviously make her dreams come true, but also the fact that he even showed it's I guess it's closure for Lelouch. It's more really for her than him. But I guess on Lucius' part, it's just the fact that he said his goodbye to her and he said he'd come back. I obviously assumed metaphorically because because she knew he wasn't going to because of the Requiem. I guess a metaphoric I'll be back. But more importantly, just the fact that he cared about her a lot. He always cared about C2, and it just all this it all came full circle in this last episode. I love the way how again she thought he hated him she thought he hated her this whole time. But at the end, it was the opposite. He took responsibility and grew up as a person. Luce grows up so much in the story, and this scene was just so good. And I was very proud that I figured out that connection because it really makes the relationship seem much bigger than maybe some people thought it was. My connection bad? Okay, I was like, what the hell? Okay. And I'm glad people liked it too because again, that video had some really good stuff in there. My Shizaku video. This is one that's probably very controversial. It got like 100. It's my first. This is my first live stream, by the way. I'm very proud of it, not because the video itself was great, because it's not. Look, I look awful. I look awful, anyways. But what I like about this video was just the fact that people actually like. I was so like I'm looking at this comments right. Okay, I'm glad I kept the live replay. Like people actually came in to like partake in my feed. And I was like, wait a minute. Um, like people want to come in here. This is by the way, this was 100 subscribers, okay? And I had people coming in here actually wanted to talk about this. Like Gladiator King, he was one of the first people, by the way. I'm not sure if he's watching this or was watching this stream, but he was one of the first people who like watched my videos and partook and partaked in my stream. So it's like it's pretty crazy. Yeah, this was a really crazy topic, and it was funny too. There are problems with Suzaku, but CBR just like really dropped the ball, and they just came with the most garbage takes ever. Yeah, exactly. CBR made the triggering Kogias articles. Pretty much, yeah. Narcounts were here. C2 is thinking it's understandable when you think she feels guilty for Miles. She messed up the kid, giving chaos, manipulating him, loving him, mad, like yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the thing. She had a lot of guilt in her life because of everything she did to Mao and Lelouch on that regard. Yeah, they want money. Let's be honest. You shouldn't feel bad about mispronouncing mecha names. I'm a Kogias super fan, and the only mecha I remember was Lancelot. Well, I mean, yeah, it's just like really, it's not gay when it's Gawain. So, but yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know, it's just one of those things where I was like, ugh, you know, how do you get that wrong, man? You're like, I mean, because it's based off, I believe it's one of the Knights of the Round, the Gawain, or not what it's based on. They're all based on some kind of area of Arthur and the Knights. What was the Gawain based? Is that a person? Is that a weapon? I don't remember. I'm not really big in that mythology. It's not mythology. I'm not big on that whole story about the Knights of the Round. But I don't know. The Gawain whole thing just kind of, yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. Maybe I'll do like a really simple discussion about it. Why does my life keep having bad connection? I don't know. Yeah, that could be. That's one early thing I was discussing. Yeah, look, shipping is very popular in Kogias. It's like the most. It's funny. Besides the ending of the series, it's probably one of the most talked about videos or talked about topics videos. What we're talking about. It was a very emotional film. I definitely would agree. Yeah, Double O is very Kogias like, which is why I think if you like Kogias, watch Double O. Oh, really? Oh, that's good. It was a good movie. Who was he wearing the mask? I'm not sure what the context was there. We'll do summoning soon. We'll do one run of summoning. I don't really want to summon, but we'll do one just for you guys. I'll do one summoning. One more. One more. I don't know. That's a good question. Well, Akito had a lot of retconning. That's the problem. It's not just fake information. They just make up. Well, okay, that's okay. Never mind. That is fake information. It's like taking the information from the story and then like just complete bastardizing it. It's not just CBR. It's like also Screen Rant and Game something. Like it's all of the same crap. You're right. There are some deep Kogias articles that are not written by these mainstream companies, but no one knows about those. Yeah, it's funny. Renya's arm and Colin's Gurren arm are very similar, not only in how they had to be direct contact to work, but their evolution was actually almost the same because Colin's got a range of a blast. The FUD did it say? It had like they increased the range of her arm, so she could actually blast into an area. And Renya's arm worked the same way. And then the next part about Colin's nightmare frame is that the state elements could like detach the arm and fire a straight beam, and Ren's arm could also fire a straight beam. It was like the same evolution. Both of them went through the same thing. I assume that was not intentional. Old as a person. Okay. Enemy to Lancelot. Well, that makes sense why Lelouch piloted then. Okay. Thanks for explaining. I'm so stupid. So that was that video. I think I discussed the relationship one, right? This one, I don't know. I went through this weird phase. Look at that, 430 subscribers, crazy stuff. I went through this weird phase where I was yeah. You see here, this is kind of cool. You can see where I was like a couple months ago. See 30,000 in that video, almost a 4K on this video. But anyhow, I went through this phase where I was reviewing every single Code Geass thing. So we have a show, so R1, R2. And this review it wasn't the worst thing ever, but I might have been a little harsh at some points and not better than others. When I went through the show for the each live stream episode, I went to really detailed explanation about stuff and really dived into it. So there were a lot of things I missed in this review that the original that my recent rewatch would have had if I had done that again. I might do like honestly, I might even do a what's it called? I might do a revisiting of R1 again now that I've gone through the whole story once over to discuss like more things about the series that I didn't realize the first time I watched it, like the whole Mina Mizapito. I'm just kidding. No more of that. I'm just joking. We're not discussing Mina Mizapito ever again. I meant like the whole political dialogue between Detard and Toto, a lot of the foreshadowing of like Toto and Clovis, and just really good stuff that was well written stuff in R1 because there was a lot of good stuff in there that I totally missed when I made this video. So there's that. It was still good for what it was, but I could have done more. A lot of times I watch these a lot of times I look at these videos I made, they could have been a little better. But again, you're going like on a certain grind for stuff. So that's how it is. This video, hmm. This is one of those videos where I preemptively made age restriction. I discussed some sexual stuff in here. Now that I know more about YouTube, I probably have to do that, but I'll keep it the way it is. This is one of the articles where this is basically not taking any chances and just ripping on Nina Einstein. And for some reason, it's like Nina Einstein is like the most hated character in the story, but like no one knows who Alicia Lohmeyer is, who literally is a evil racist. And I like Nina, she doesn't give a damn at all. Like it's just I don't know, but it is what it is. On that, the video I mean the video I thought was pretty good. I was really pissed off. I think I recorded like one in the morning or something. I gotta get this out here, so I just screamed about it for like an hour. Okay, this video right here, the important changes. This video took me. I'm going to say. Oh, think and play. Welcome. I wish everyone a late Christmas too, so I'm not any better. Oh, Paprika. That came out in 2006, and that changed the anime world. I guess Ano didn't know about this film. But anyhow, or Satoshi Kon in general, who was like Satoshi Kon, in my opinion, was like changing anime for the better. And if he didn't die at like when he died 41, which is really depressing, I think he would have advanced anime to a level that Ano could never have even thought about, because all of Satoshi Kon's films were insanely underrated masterpieces that, my God, some of the stuff he brings up, you see it in like not just anime, but like regular films that come out, live action stuff from like big studios have been influenced by Satoshi Kon's works. So again, Ano can say like, it has to be me. I'm like, there were other people who were advancing anime to the next level, and some of the great shows that come out the last like 10 years, I don't think had anything to do with Ava. Like, I don't think Attack on Titan was influenced heavily by Evangelion. I mean, maybe there were some elements to it, but it seems like it's a complete different story. So, or even Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or just Full Metal Alchemist. I mentioned those two just because they're both very popular shonens that I think were the biggest of their genre, or like their era, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking about that comment because I know I've been like this whole stream been like kind of rehashing it, but I just keep thinking about that whole thing where it's like, did Anno really have to jump back into anime for it to have gone the direction it did? It just seems weird to me because I don't think that was necessary or not. But whatever, we'll have to see how things go in the future. Oh well, that's fine. I mean, it's just my opinion. I hate her personally. I think the better way to put it like this is that when people discuss characters that are evil in Code Geass, like we don't even hear Alicia's not even in the conversation. Like it's just Nina and Suzaku. That's all I'm saying. Like you're absolutely right in that you can like Alicia if you want to or not. She's entertaining in her own right. But what I'm saying is like they don't even discuss her. Like she doesn't exist. Which is disgusting because she's awful, understandably so. We all agree if like Akito was fixed, where they just made the Geass lore easy to understand, fix CGI, fight and Garrett Julius, or make Julius have a role to meet, it went great. Yeah, exactly. They did a lot of retconning, which is the problem with the story. Oh, really? Okay. It would have been really easy to base it on shipping, but you avoided that. Oh, well, yeah, that was the point. I was trying to be objective. It's funny because someone actually told me, not in that video, but like in a Reddit post. God, Reddit. I love Reddit, but I hate Reddit at the same time. Someone told me like it was clear bias, and I was like, no, there was no bias. I went to the whole show and I tried very hard to find evidence for every single character, but C2 ultimately won because there was just more evidence for it. And with Colin, it was like, it was very weird. That I don't know what is about that topic. People get really passionate about who loves who. So, you know, that's right. No one remembers Alicia Lomar. That's very accurate. But back to this point, I don't know what it is, but that topic is very gets a lot of discussion about it. Not always for the right reasons. Okay, so now this video here. This video took me, I want to say, maybe 3 months to make. Not like putting it together, but I mean just collecting all information yeah, just putting it all together. Like I don't mean like the actual in the video editor, taking the images and the sound and all that stuff. I mean like watching all the films, watching all the anime, writing all the differences as I go. Like my approach was basically I had like the anime up in one window and I had the films in the other. I just watched them back to back, and every time there was something that was different, I just made note of it. And I had a long list of stuff. And this video, like, it didn't even. There was stuff I didn't mention in this video, like certain parts that were removed. I found out later on when I was like weeks later on, I figured out like why certain changes were there. I said many times in this video, like, I don't know why they made this change, but then I realized later on, oh, that's why they made it. So it's kind of frustrating. This is one of those videos where it wasn't 100% complete when I made it. It was like 90% done. I was like, whatever, it's good enough. I can always make an article to correct it later, which I still plan to do, by the way, whenever that comes out. I have, like, I'll show you how crazy this got. Can I get the notion or I have to log in? I don't know what if I lost my token or not. Let me see. Yeah, one second. I want to show you guys something. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is my notes on. I used to use Notion. I stopped a long time ago, but I used to use it. So here's my notes on the stuff, right? So here we go. I have first of all, I have everything that happened in the film, just endless stuff, even notes because I forget things, and I have like the episode it corresponds with, sending with the second film, and this is like all the events of the original anime, just so I can have it as a reference of what happened and the order it happened. All the events that happened in the films, again, the order that it happened in. Um, yeah, here we go. Here's all the new scenes that were added. I literally like listed them all out. Then I also had all the changes made for each one, and then I have everything removed from the films, like this. And then if you want to go further with it, to show you how obsessive I was in making this video. And again, this is kind of really under the hood stuff, but in case you were ever wondering, you're like, how does he make these videos? I know that's like a question you guys think about late at night when you can't sleep. When you can't sleep when your neighbors are effing upstairs. That's what you think about at night. How do you make that video? Said nobody ever. Where was it? Yeah, here. So what I did in this video too is, or was, since it's already completed, I had for big projects, I have like photos laid out in different sections. So I have like literally here just from the changes between the ending sequences for the original anime and the new one in the films. See, this is from the original anime, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this is from the original anime memories. Here is the glorification one. So like if I was to see here, I laid out like every single thing. It's just insane. Like this project had so many assets to go through. I mean, it was overwhelming to make this damn thing, but I was very proud when it came out. This is the one video that I know it didn't get like the most views compared to other stuff, but this is the one video I'm the most proud of making, just because it took forever. There were so many. I wanted to make sure that you guys could actually understand what the hell was happening, so I had like these things at the top, and I tried to make sure each section made sense, and even how to organize this too. Like, would it make sense to do like changes, narrative changes, new scenes? Like, how to differentiate the differences? Because when people talk about the differences between the films and the anime, they discuss on a high level, and I want to go like low level and just go like detail as I can to discuss every single nook and cranny they changed. And I still miss stuff too, and I also miss like explanations as well. So it was kind of frustrating, but also happy at the same time. Also, the audio was also crap too. I don't know what it was, but I just really fudged up in the audio. Yeah, and the music too. Here's another thing too. I use like a million songs. See, I use so many songs. Like I have no room in my comment section or my description for anything else. But this video was just, oh my god. And this was my first premiere too. Yeah, this is my first premiere video. This one was just, God, it was. Yeah, I missed that one. Um, and this one was just so, oh my god. This was the hardest video I ever made. And funny enough, I want to do one between Evangelion and the original anime, the um, the rebuilds in the original anime. I was thinking about doing that at some point. I want to do more differences between like the original anime and the new series. For example, I want to do one between Helsing and Helsing Ultimate. So here's the I got it from the library too. This is Helsing the original and Helsing Ultimate. I wanted to do the Evangelion films. I don't know, stuff like that. Excuse me, man. I drank way too fast. Oh my god. Damn it. Okay. How are we doing on time? 2 hours. Okay, I got to change my battery, and then we'll continue on going through memory lane. Or yeah, I guess we'll go through memory lane. Okay, I will be right back. Hmm. Okay, 1 second. It's still working now. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. Okay. Oh, that's what they are. Okay, I had no idea. I gotta be honest. I haven't really followed Dragon Ball since. I haven't followed Dragon Ball since the tournament, the universe arc, and since I haven't really watched much of it. I'm sorry, read. There's nothing to watch. What am I talking about? Oh my god, 7 burps today. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, I haven't watched anything past the universe stuff. The problem with Dragon Ball Z, and this is not a knock on the series. I love. Well, let me try that again. There's Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, right? So Dragon Ball as a whole, and then there's Z, which is what series that takes place after Dragon Ball. But when I refer to Dragon Ball in this context, I'm not talking about the first series with Goku as a kid. I'm talking about just Dragon Ball as a whole. So to me, the problem with the series is that everyone is so powerful at this point that you have to just power creep everyone to just make things work in the story. And it comes to a point where it's like it's not as fun as it used to be. Like Z had so many good moments where the characters had to get stronger to defeat a strong enemy or a stronger enemy rather, and it wasn't too bad. But even the boost stuff was kind of power creeping. Super was really bad in that regard, and so was GT for that respect. So like, maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I haven't even watched the Broly film, so there's that. All right. Oh my god. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I missed something here though. Yeah. Well, let's be honest. R2 wasted a lot of characters, right? I mean, think about Knights of the Round. That was something that could have been done. They could have spent so much time with that. I mean, imagine if Knights of the Round were relevant. I don't know, maybe in the first series, R1, and somehow they connected to. I don't know. That'd been kind of cool, but they don't really do much with them. Yeah, Alicia was a wasted character. Her death was like okay. I mean, it was a thing, I guess, but there wasn't much to it besides that. I'm going to die on this hill, as you guys know, and that is that I think her role in the new series was fine. No one's ever going to agree with me on it. It's totally cool. I think they set up made sense, and the more I watch R1, I think there was more evidence to suggest it was okay. But look, if you guys don't agree, that's fine. Yes, in the Resurrection manga, she's dead. That is very true. The Resurrection manga is a different universe. One of my goals for next year is to do the manga read order. I, for some reason, have neglected it, but one of my goals for next year is to do the manga read order, which would be a fun video to do, and it's a long time in making for that one as well. That's like my goal for next year, among other stuff. So I'm gonna die in it, and that's totally fine. No one else agrees with me, which is again totally fine there. Um, wait. What about that part with the Namek thing where they just like okay, I don't agree entirely because there's that one time skip when the androids were supposed to come. They trained for 3 years. That was it was okay. Other than that, I do agree. The time skip of the Dragon Ball Z are very good. The one with the androids, I wasn't a fan of that time skip. The others, though, yeah, I totally agree. Like the one where what was it between obviously the Boo saga and the Cell saga, that was a good time skip. The other one though, I don't know. The Lelouch Nizel, Shinkei, Cornelia, Yukiya, Shamna, Dash, and others. What are we talking about? Characters? Like in the game or something? Because they had them on in the game. I'm not sure what the context there is. Did Shirley die in the manga? Yeah, she did. Not okay. This is why I have to do a video on the read order because it's really confusing. So basically, there is a there's a Code Geass manga that follows the original story, but makes like a billion changes, which could also be a video too, by the way, in the future. But the changes made essentially, I'll give you like some basic ones. They got rid of all the nightmare frames. Anya is replaced by what's her name, Valletta. They fight with swords now. What was another major change? Oh, like the whole thing on Common Island was different. The story is much more chibi like, so the characters act in a more funny manner. Like Colin is way more open about her relationship with Lelouch. I believe that well, not Valletta. Yuffie is actually on. She goes to school with them for a little bit. She's more involved in her life. The event where the first event where they meet, like the Black Knights and Lelouch, was like in Ashford Academy. Like they changed a bunch of stuff. Okay, so now that I had that, so now that you know that, they then made a manga series called Lancelot and Gurren. And then it was followed by Lucifer Rebellion RE, and then Lucifer Resurrection. So in this series, it follows the original anime, but they changed some stuff. For example, they added new characters in Lancelot and Gurren that were not in the original anime. And in Lucifer Rebellion RE, it ends with Lelouch being in a prism of some kind after he died, implying he didn't. But other than those two things I just mentioned, like the new characters and some of the stuff they fill in between the events of R1 and R2, it's the same story as the original anime. But since they do make those changes, it's technically an alternate universe. Especially now we know the Resurrection manga has characters from Lancelot and Gurren. So that's an entirely different universe to itself. As if this wasn't confusing enough, right? Like what Jeremiah is saying, Code Man. Oh, great. As if this wasn't confusing enough. So you have that universe. Then you have like a bunch of made up stuff, like the Shogun one, the Lelouch as a tutor, the Lelouch as a working in a store. Like there's a bunch of other like really weird stuff that they did in the series when it comes to the manga. And then of course you have Reign of Darkness and Oz of Reflection, which is also kind of weird because they both take place in the original timeline and the new one. So you have like Reign R1, R2, Oz of Reflection, I guess, between R1, R2, and also after R2. And then you have, well, that's it actually. Or the manga is the same. You have Renya, then you have Lancelot and Gurren, and then you have Oz of Reflection, and then you have Lancelot or Illusion of Blood RE, and then you have Oz of Reflection, and then Resurrection. So it's really confusing. For no reason, they made like a bunch of like variants to this. I don't know. Oh, they were really smart. That's what you meant. Okay. I have no idea where he won the Black Rebellion. I don't think so. I think he usually loses that one. Yeah, look, I think it's good too. I gotta like take a breath, man. Take a breath. Yeah, it was good. I have no issues with it. Some people call it pointless, and that's fine. It's your opinion, and I have my opinion. It's just an anime, guys. Relax. Even though I just screamed about Evangelion, so I'm like the biggest hypocrite either. I'm the biggest hypocrite in that respect. But still, like just calm down. All right, where the hell were we? Rick Sanchez. That's funny. I got a tree coming? Or okay, no, okay. Okay, where was I? All right, so let's discuss this video. This was a really that was pretty significant. This video, these two here, I was really proud of them, and I wanted to discuss something with you guys about these videos. Not the specific context or content within them. Why does it keep telling me I have no connection speed? What the hell? It says it's fine here. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on a normal connection. What the hell? Are people using my connection I don't know of? I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I should probably change my Wi-Fi password. That might solve that problem. Anyways, I was thinking the future of doing making shorts that would do lists like this in the future because there's so many topics I want to talk about, but I don't know if it's worth doing like a 20-minute analysis video. Like I love this video, don't get me wrong, I think it's really good. and people like it too because it's a very it's a good topic. And I try to be just not discussing only the sexual aspect of these women, why they're hot, but also like their intelligence, their contributions to the story, things like that. So I want to do simple, I guess, simple shorts that discuss like the top whatever characters or events or something. That way I can cover a lot of topics without like going too in depth into them. And let's say you guys respond well to some of those shorts, then maybe I'll revisit them at some point and actually go further into it. Like for example, I want to make one that says like the saddest deaths in Kogias, a short. The top pilots in Kogias, a short. The top Nightmare Frame battles in Kogias, a short. The top moment between Chiba and Toto, a short. And if you guys like those topics, then I can always expand them onto videos. Although in this case, I mean, this is the most beautiful win in Kogias. I mean, the men's sequel will be coming up at some point. I know someone asked me this a long time ago. Where was it? Wow, there's so many on here. Where's the? Someone asked if I was going to do a one about the men or something. I am going to. I don't know why I don't. I thought it was here, but anyway. So these two were fun to make, but I tend to do more shorter lists down the road. But these were definitely fun to make. In fact, I was most proud about these thumbnails. Let's go back. Oh, right. What am I doing? Oh, hold on. These thumbnails, I was very proud of them, especially this one. Like I took all Lucia's best moments on these different nightmare frames, where it'd be the Borai, the Shinkiro, or the Glain. And it's like, oh my god, I love this thumbnail. So good. I love that thumbnail. One of the best. I don't know why, but during all my live streams, I use like the same style where I had like a character in the background. And I use like this like weird, I don't know, like shape. It was kind of weird. I don't know. It was kind of stupid, but I use those a lot. Yeah, I reviewed everything. See R2, R1, Resurrection. Resurrection is going to be one of those videos where like I got to think back if I really said everything I wanted to say about it or not. I don't know, but this film again, it was fan service, but I appreciate it for what it was. I was waiting a long time for a new story. I knew they weren't going to do anything too crazy with it. I knew it was going to be like fan servicey, and that's fine. It wasn't. This wasn't supposed to be a reboot. This was a last ride with your characters. So there's nothing wrong with that. I thought it was well handled. And yes, very confusing stuff, but still, it was good. I enjoyed it. Oh my god, it was moments like these is why I enjoyed the film a lot. Yeah, this is great too. So this was such a good movie. My only extra Renya video. And then I started doing something really interesting. I started posting like highlight clips, and you guys really love these. I don't know why. Like this one was just me discussing Cornelia for like 5 minutes, and it got like 1,000 views. It was this too much? And what's kind of fun with YouTube, and I can't figure this crap out. Whereas, like this thumbnail, and again, I put effort into it, but I can't tell you I put the same effort in say something like this, right? I just cut out Cornelia and put her behind a background, and it got like 1,000 views. Like, was this that hot that people wanted to watch me talk about Cornelia's sexualization in the story? I don't know. It's kind of odd to me that like that was actually, is it really odd though? I don't know. Maybe I'll discuss Cornelius. Maybe I'll discuss the fan service and Kogias in a separate video. That'd be kind of great, right? But yeah, that one did really well. The highlight video of like the family, people really hated my take on this. Like people were really telling in the comments that like, no, it's not like they there's nothing going on here at all. You don't understand about relationships back in the day between siblings. You assume it's all infidelity and incest. And I was like, isn't it? And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's still weird. Still very weird stuff. People really responded well to this video, and I was thankful because I actually got to get like a perspective I didn't have about why this sort of stuff happens in these stories. And so someone actually explained, which was good. I'm glad. I felt like I wasn't angry with all the comments people made. I was happy because I was getting like good constructive feedback. But yeah, I was posting. I did an experiment where I post like every day or something about like highlight clips, and that was taking way too much. So I kind of I toned it down a little bit. I can't keep making so many. My God, what was that, 9 burps? Oh, that was 10. Okay, I can't like keep making a video every day. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, that was a fun experiment. This video here, it was okay. I look back at it sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. This is me talking about like why I got into Code Geass and also obviously Bleach, which is coming back by the way. So I'm really excited about that. Bleach has been a very important part of my life. I don't think I'm ever going to talk about it on this channel in that way. I might do some shorts, which might be kind of fun, but other than that, I won't. What's cool about this thumbnail is that you see how you see the. Do you see how you see Gohan and you see Vastalorde Ichigo in his hollow form? In the anime, there is no actual depiction of this. I had to. This is kind of crazy, but I had to frame by frame cut out both of them and then put it together myself because you actually can't get a full frame of Gohan and Super Saiyan 2 walking like that, and you can't get Vastalord Ichigo as well. So that was actually more trouble than it probably was worth, but I still enjoyed it. This was a great video. I don't think it did well compared to others, but I was really proud of this one because this is a big area of the story where people just don't get it, myself included to some extent. I really tried to dig in to figure out how exactly this all worked out. And this is one of the parts in R2 where they really should have made this more. They should have clarified this, and the films could have done that. But unfortunately, it never happened. But I was still probably, I got something out there. All right, back to comments because I'm like back and forth here. God dang it. Okay. Sora and Shiro both had photographic memory. Shiro can speak 18 languages and learn new languages in 50 minutes. Oh, we're talking about what is that? No Game No Life, I think. I have not. I saw Nostalgia Critic's review on it. You know, Doug Walker, if you're familiar who that is. He said it was kind of so I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I loved Matrix. Reloaded had the best car chase scene, and Resurrection's only good part was the end. I love the song Narvas. That's the best part of Resurrections. I mean, Resolutions. It's funny. You had Matrix Resurrections, and you have Code Geass, Illusion of the Resurrection. It's like we couldn't come a better name for either one. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have not seen it. Do you recommend it? Let me know. I wouldn't mind a video on changes you think the combination film should have done. Ooh, that'd be interesting, right? It'd be like a top 10 list of what they should have done. That's true. I mean, that's a good idea. What's true about it? I'm weird. Roller Shift taking Zaku's place at Julius' brother. Cut out half the school stuff, second half. Yeah, you could have done it too. Look, R2 had definitely direction issues. Damn. I don't know. Would making Shirley die make the story better? I don't know. Too many people want the load stuff. Funny. I'm not a big fan of the loot stuff. Yeah, I know. Again, ever a fan of Code Geass agrees China was being flirty with Cornelia. Yeah, it's one of those things where like, I don't know. It's gonna be an ongoing topic forever. The right, yeah, everyone uses Resurrection names for some reason. And they're both fourth. Oh, that's true, and they're both fourth movies. How do you like that? Yeah, there you go. The connections, man. They keep on coming. Well, doesn't Suzaku mean Phoenix? Like in Fushugi Yugi, it was the what was it? Seiryu and Suzaku, I believe. The Suzaku 7. What was it? That's not what it's called. I watched Fushugi a couple years ago. What was it called? The not the Knights of Suzaku, the Servants of Suzaku. Oh my damn it! 1 second. I'm so angry. I love Fushugi Yugi, but I can't remember the name of it. It's something of. I'm gonna be really pissed off when I read the. What are the frick are they called? Who are you? Okay, Celestial Warriors of Zaku. Oh my god, I'm so pissed off. The Celestial Warriors of Suzaku. Anyways, would you ever make a top 10 favorite anime list? maybe I reach a milestone like 5K subs. I know it seems really selfish, but I want to make it a very special event. I have a list on my blog, but that list is outdated. I have to update it. It's like it's not a bad list, but I'll show you what I mean. I'll go to the site really quick. Let's see. Um, mm, yeah, I have an article, but again, it's outdated. Let's see. I think it's anime list, right? Let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. I gotta write more articles this year. That's one of my also goals. Let's see. Blah blah blah. There's films. That article was such an ass to write. Okay, here it is. So this is my current list I have now. So I have a Shugyugi number 10. I have Major at number 9. Helsing Ultimate is number 8. 7 is Dragon Ball Z. Steins Gate is 6. Digimon is 5. Kokias is 4. Bleach is 3. Full Metal Alchemist is 2, or Brotherhood is 2, and then number 1 is Monster. I want to change this in the future. I think Eureka 7 might be in. Yeah, Eureka 7 and Double O might be on the list. The new major film is alright. The color palette is a heck of a lot better since it's no longer green. Oh, okay, that's good to know. I thought it was Phoenix, but okay. Could let this Sasaku 7, but I don't know. Anyways, so eventually, going through this journey, we got to my Death Note, almost obligatory. You think it'd be number 1? I said, look, I said before it wasn't number 1. I said Monster was my favorite anime. Did I not say that? I don't know. I thought I said that. I could be crazy. Who knows? I probably am crazy. What was I saying? All right. So eventually I got into like this thing where I was going to Death Note comparison to Code Geass, and I think everyone at some point makes these connections. So I have like, first I did this one, which I really loved. It's my favorite. This is my second favorite live stream the whole year. Maybe my favorite. I don't know. But this one was like, God, I hate this. This guy is like, I have a big nose, so I hate looking at other people with big noses too. It just really offends me. I don't know. Like I have a large nose, so it's like, oh God, is that what it looks like? Is that how people see it? Ugh. God, I hate that ad. Not the topic of the ad, just that guy in it. I don't know. It just freaks me out. Ugh, this is not good either. So in this video here, this is my first attempt discussing Death Note versus Code Geass, and this Watch Mojo video was garbage. Then I jumped into this video, which I'm also very proud of. This one took me quite a while to make as well, and this was a fun one because I got to this almost nuanced point when it came to Death Note and Code Geass, which is they're very different stories. Comparing them was almost foolish at this point, and it's better to just take them as individual stories. And I mean, you could definitely discuss the characters and their intelligence, but people like really they went overboard with it. And so I kind of wanted to go over both in this video. And I like how I really like how I did this part here where I mentioned like examples from each of them demonstrating their intelligences. It's a good way to demonstrate what I mean, both written and also just visual, which is important too because that's how intelligence works in general. Some people learn better visually, visual learners. Some people learn better from doing. So I kind of had I tried to appeal to different individuals through making this video, which adds extra levels. Also, I screwed up here too because again, I forgot Lelouch could play piano since he was like 6 or something. What I think you guys totally got me in this. Yeah, 3 years old, he was playing piano. So obviously, I screwed up there. And Ryan, you keep mentioning like how he actually had environmental intelligence, which I'm still iffy about, but this was a fun video to make, and I know that most people watched it were Code Geass fans, and they obviously didn't vote for Light, which is totally fine. But I thought I gave Light a pretty fair shake. I mean, I discussed his plan to defeat Naomi, which, by the way, his plan to defeat Naomi was still really brilliant. I'm still it was a good plan. Like he was able to smooth talk her. He got her distracted. He made her lose her guard. He got her identity without revealing that he in fact knew she gave him a fake one. I mean, it was good stuff. Plus, Naomi is very attractive looking, so it helps to watch the screen. She's one of the most attractive looking characters in Death Note. Death Note's really interesting in how like the art style is more grounded, but also really beautiful. It's nice, you know. The Death Note has problems with the story, but the aesthetics on Death Note are fantastic. No, yeah, no issues there. The story only falls apart towards the second half of the series, and even the first half has some problems too. But in general, though, I definitely like Kogias more in Death Note, but I still appreciate a lot. I appreciate now about Death Note more since I went through and actually learned about the series and asked people questions because I had a lot of questions that got answered. Some stuff still hasn't, by the way. I might discuss that in a future video. Then I finally finished it off with this, which is I don't know. This video was just kind of weird. Basically, I made this one who's smarter, and I had like an extra side point I wanted to bring up, so I just made it like a separate video. And of this video, my favorite part is the end, which is this. This is literally the best part of this video, in my opinion. I come back to it often. Excellent way to summarize this discussion. You see it in there. I just love how when Joker talks about the cops he killed, you can literally take this idea and you can apply it to Lucian and Light here because Lelouch he's gonna die right at this point. I know you might be thinking, well, he doesn't actually die in this moment, but he didn't know. Like in his mind, this was it for him, right? But what does he do? He doesn't run away. He just stands there. He says, "Okay, I'm going to protect Colin. I'll double down on the claim, so she'll leave me to die, and I'll accept my fate." And that's what's so good about this. Whereas Light is like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die," and he runs away. I just love how this one statement by Joker it just summarized Lucian Light in like one sentence. One guy was willing to face the consequence of his actions. The other guy was a coward. It was so well done. I mean, like Dark Knight is such a fantastic movie with so many deep metaphorical elements to it. It's crazy how this. I was like, oh my God, the Joker like it's perfect. You know, like even the line at the beginning. You know how you either die here or live long to become the villain. Like like I said, in both cases, like these lines just summarize these stories so perfectly. And it just made me hate Light's character more. And there's some people who actually love his character, which is kind of weird. Like like supporting him, not so much like rooting for a villain because you root for a villain, why not? But I mean like actually supporting him, which is like, ooh, okay, that's kind of weird. All right, I think I missed like a lot of stuff. Yeah, I heard the martial art thing in Matrix wasn't there. That's true. They like the Matrix, the prior films had better choreography. That's very true. I think it's because R drops the ball in a few areas. Yeah, that's very true. Unfortunately. Oh well, it's because it's not that complicated because the reason I talk about Go Geass compared to other stories, and this is a bit of a business decision. I'll be completely transparent with you guys. There is some transparent elements to this, right? If you look at my top list, you have Fullmetal Alchemist, you have Bleach, and you have Monster. Now, I could talk about those stories, but the problem is Fullmetal Alchemist has this one channel named Lowert who has basically monopolized it. I mean, I could throw my thoughts out there, but it's at this point, I don't think I would do well in competition with those channels. Heck, I'll still try later on anyways, but I don't think it would do as well. And then when it comes to Monster specifically, it's just not a popular show. I mean, every time people talk about it, it's like, one and done videos. Even though there's so much to break down about Monster, and I love to do so many videos discussing it, overall, it's just not popular. I mean, here's how I know what would happen, right? If I look at my Blue Gender review or my Gungrave video or Trigun, like they didn't do well in views, okay? So I know that people don't want to watch stuff that's not Kogias related. So I picked Kogias because that was something people were interested in. No one's really talking about the show that much at all. except for again one and done videos. So I figured it's a good area to focus on. And the show made a huge impact on my life. And just because the show isn't like number one of my top 10 list, it doesn't mean it's not important to me. I mean, there's some stories that are considered I'd put like top 30, and they still matter a lot to me. Like Gungrave, for example, right? Gungrave isn't a top 10 anime in my list, but I loved Gungrave, and it was a very well told story. Same with Fate Zero, excellent anime, not top 10, but it was really good. And I can go on with that. You know, there's a lot of shows that I would love to talk about in videos or even just for friends about, and they're not like my top 10 list. That's about top 10 list. People get like a little bit too, how do I put this? Too invested into it. Like it's not an end all be all. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like, okay, what were the top 10 experiences you enjoyed the most? It's almost like because I enjoyed these the most, I didn't enjoy anything else, which is not true. There are some one and done anime fans. Like I met someone in my like where I work, there was one person I met who loves anime, and he only watched like Bleach, I think Fairy Tail, and Naruto, and that's it. That's all he watches. There are a lot of fans like that, and it's totally fine. So for them, it literally is like their top anime, and they watch absolutely nothing else. But in my case, it's like these top 10, like these are the ones that impacted me the most. But I still love other stuff, you know? The problem often with these shows, it's like what I watch first, right? Like this is let's say another like honest take here. If I had watched Naruto first and then Bleach, Naruto would have been number 3 and not Bleach. But I watched Bleach first, so that's why it's up there. It was the first major shonen that I binge watched, besides like Yu-Gi-Oh. But Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really count though. But it is technically a shonen anime. But I will definitely admit that Naruto's story I think was a lot better. Although I think Bleach had better characters. You know, just as like that, for example, right? If I watched Double O before Code Geass, I think Double would have been better than I probably would have liked him more than Code Geass or Eureka 7 before. If I watched Eureka 7 before Code Geass, I might have liked that show more. Sometimes the first impression of a story is what kind of gets you to like it more than something else. I mean, if you were to, it's weird because if you, it's kind of like Evangelion, I guess, to some extent. Oh, God, here we, you know, as George Howard said, all right, here we go again. Well, what I mean is, because I experienced other anime that did what Evangelion did before watching Evangelion, it didn't have the same impact on me as it would if someone who had only watched that one first. That's why I love Double O. It doesn't have the same impact as Code Geass since I watched Code Geass first, and I can go on with other stories as well. So the point I make here in a long, confusing rant is that top 10 just means anime that had a big impact on my life. The order doesn't really matter too much. Any of them, if they're on the list, it was that significant. And it doesn't mean I don't like anything else. So there's that. I don't know. That was kind of confusing. I'm sure I said it's like I'm a politician. I said a lot. Well, I know words came out, but nothing was actually said. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, again, it's not really a mind. The problem with R2 is just that it's not like it was a bad series. It just that it just lacked focus, and there were some parts that were kind of like confusing. Like if you had less episodes to tell your story, but you wanted to tell a good story, then don't have the fan service scenes. You know, just don't do that, right? That type of stuff. That's 11 burps. Awesome. I feel like Koge's needs more intense fight scenes, like Renya versus Colin. Well, Renya is from a different time period, so that's the first problem with that idea. And two, Colin, while a good hand-in fighter, she couldn't fight Renya because Renya has a magical arm. If we're taking that out to consideration, then yes. Also, apparently, what was it? In this game, by the way, they're gonna have a versus mode, which I'm really terrified about because apparently they're gonna you can play other players. It's gonna be available tomorrow, I believe. So I'm kind of nervous about that because I think this game is pay to win. So I'm basically gonna have to pay to win this game. I'm not gonna do. I'm just saying. Like I think you're gonna have to do pay to win. I hope I'm wrong about that, but that's like the we'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see how it plays out, and I'll use that in my review for the game. Because a lot of people complained about Janissary Code, which is actually a good segue because that's the next topic I discussed. A lot of people were complaining that in Janissary Code it wasn't going to last past a year because it was incomplete. And my argument was I don't think the game was that great, but it was unfinished. So let's see what the full game looks like. Some people don't wait that long. Like think about No Man's Sky, right? Different game, but when that first came out, it had a lot of promises like newly generated worlds, right? Where everything would be different, like the creatures, the environment, and it didn't live up to that when it first came out. But now they've patched the game up, and as far as I know, it does do those things. So a lot of times people are just impatient and they want the full game released when it said it was going to be. Which, by the way, is not even unreasonable. I completely agree with that sentiment. You know, if a game has a hard launch date, then the assumption is the game is coming out fully finished. Otherwise, why release the game? And the problem with JSRE Code is that they released the game early because they wanted money. They want to get a lot of money from it. And a lot of people have the whales, which I don't know if it was even a term. The whales are definitely keeping this game up going, keeping this game going. So I hope that there's like more stuff coming out because right now the game doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have too much things to do. Although that room is kind of nice, but we need more game modes. So there is that. I don't know how we got into that discussion, but I'll get to more Desert Code stuff in a second. But I want to read some comments again. Did you read a sequel chapter? I did not. I probably should have though. I know it's like a new person gets a death note, I believe. To me, I don't know why they would do that. It's kind of like in Monster, this Monster. I'm looking in the wrong direction. Where they made like a story called Another Monster, which is a sequel to the series. I never read it because to me, I feel like the story ended perfectly, where it was ambiguous what happened. And in that manga series, they kind of tell you, no, actually, here's what really happened. I'm like, nah, I don't really want that. You know, I kind of want to walk away from the series knowing that it was ambiguous about Johan, but apparently it wasn't. So, Random would crush Colin. Yeah, of course he would. And even if like he didn't have his arm, he'd still kill her. He's a trained warrior. No offense to Colin, but she has no experience in hand to hand combat in the same way he does. Just read Reign of Darkness. The guy's an absolute savage. He jumps like even when he doesn't have his arm ability. When he was fighting against Mesh, which is the wind nightmare, he jumped like I don't know several feet, 20 feet in the air to kill him. The same with Alto Weinberg. No, I mean no. Rena would destroy Colin. I love Colin's character, but no, he'd kill Suzaku too if we're gonna go that route. The guy's a monster. True. Well, it depends. If it's his fully evolved arm versus Satan 8 element, I don't think Renya can win. If it's the base Gurren versus Renya, he's got a chance because it absorbs not just organic but inorganic life. But if it's against Satan 8 elements, no, he's dead. That arm could blast him. There's no way. You see how fast that arm moves? Oh my god, he'd be so dead. It would be legendary. I do agree. Yes. Dash or Oren? Arthur Holmes or Shiga Hyuga? Shang Hyuga. Probably Arthur Holmes. Suzaku fighting our person Gias. You mean in Zero Capture? Possibly. We will see some of these fighting. Like Zero Capture. We will see some fighting stuff in the versus mode in Janissary Code, so that'd be kind of fun. See, that's another problem too, right? That list I showed you, that was my top anime list, series wise. That was not my top film because films, yeah, I mean, I have like Porco Rosso and I have Nausicaa. Those are my two favorite Ghibli films. I love both of them, but I like all of them. And even Whisper of Heart was so good. That was a good movie too. But Nausicaa is my favorite Ghibli film, my favorite anime film too. So yeah, that's a problem too with anime. You could have like a top 10 list for mech, as you said there, shonen, seinen, horror, films, TV series. Like, there's so many. Like it's so difficult to get it down to romance too. Obviously, so shojo and stuff like that. So hard to get down to like just the top 10. Damn, that's. I mean, you're not alone. A lot of people do feel that way. I get the critique, but it was just a building blocks of Otaku. It's right up there with Sailor Moon, DBZ, and Gundam. As a series, you know, saying about it if it through osmosis only. Oh yeah, that's a fair point. Look, I didn't say Evangelion wasn't noteworthy or didn't change anything. I'm just saying that the impact for me was not the same as other people because they saw before other things. Yeah, like Evangelion is I can't deny Evangelion is well known. I mean, its intro is iconic. You do any challenge on YouTube, the top like guess the intro, it's always in like the super easy because everyone knows the Evangelion intro. It's iconic for so many different reasons, as being like the visuals and also the music. And most of the modern mecha that came out, including Code Geass, was inspired by Evangelion. And in the case of Code Geass, it was almost, I won't say ripped off, but there was a lot of like, ooh, wow, that's a lot of comparisons. Like for example, Anya has the soul of Marion, and Unit One or Array is the soul of Yui, who's the mother of Shinji, and Marion is the mother of Lelouch. What a coinkadink, like just stuff like that, where you have two scientists who are taking care of a you have an older woman taking care of Suzaku with purple hair and large boobs, who works with a sociopath scientist who doesn't really care too much about. He's a sociopath basically, and he uses Suzaku for weird, or he doesn't care what happens to him in the same regard. Also, Lloyd has issues with relationships, which the show kind of hilariously hints out. And I can keep going on, but those are just basic examples. I'm literally making a whole list of it. It's crazy. Colin and Asuka. With Ava, it's mostly like this. Like I respect what it did, but I also acknowledge the fact that shows have come out that were inspired by Evangelion that were better, and that's something that most fans don't really talk about. It's like Evangelion was so good. I'm like, okay, great, but what's then acknowledge the fact that other shows have come out since that are better, that have taken an idea from Evangelion and they've gone further with it. It's no different really than saying like I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, like maybe the like Kogia is a better mecha story than Gundam or something. I'm not saying that that's a case or not. I'm just giving an example of like taking another story that kind of revolutionized the genre and saying it's better. Oh, here's a better example. Hold on. 11, 12 burps. Okay. A better example. Madoka Magica is a better magical girl story than Sailor Moon. In fact, I like it way more. And to me, that's always been a better series. And that's probably a better example where like obviously people acknowledge Sailor Moon was like a big deal, but I think Madoka Magica is way better. So there you go. I acknowledge the value in one, but also acknowledge the fact that it's not the greatest one. And if we didn't have it going forward, we'd be okay, and we have been so far. That's kind of my point. Yeah, all those are fantastic stories. I agree. And that's a problem too. It's like we have such a strange pick and choose when it comes to like these older classic stories like those. Because those stories, yeah, there's like no one talks about any of those anime. They're all great in their own right. And that's the depressing part. Like I go to my anime list sometimes, I'm like, God, these stories are so good, but no one wants to watch or even talk about them. Like even Trigun, which is funny because Trigun was a big deal when it came out. It's kind of fallen the wayside. It's such a really good story, and it's kind of like, but because the problem with anime in general is that it's this thing where if they don't reboot the series, if it's not currently out there playing, I guess not streaming. I guess it's streaming, right? Because they're showing it that way. Then no one really cares about it. Old shows that have not gotten any new content and never are going to, which is fine because they ended right as they should have. That's it. People forget about it. Everyone only focuses on the modern stuff coming out now, which is it's fine, but it's so many good shows get completely lost, to never be watched again. Like Double O. That's why Double O, Eureka Seven, and Rosafon. I'm very passionately involved with those series because they really were so well done, but no one's ever talked about them. Or how about D Gray Man? I watched it a couple years ago, and that's a great show. And people are always saying like, "Oh, Demon Slayer is so unique," and it's story about how that these creatures are fighting were actually people once they were transformed, and like he's helping them through this transformation by killing them. And it's like an emotional story for the main character. I'm like, yeah, that's D Gray Man. D Gray Man did it like a long time ago, probably better too. Like no fan service, but D Gray Man isn't popular anymore, so no one cares. It also did end for some stupid reason. I wish they finished that story. I mean, I say stupid in like a childish manner. I know that the creator hasn't finished the story yet. Whenever they do, though, I like to see that end. Um, that's just how it is, I guess. There's gonna come a time when this is kind of sad to say this. There will come a time, probably in the future, where Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood won't be well known anymore. I know it seems crazy, but like I think it's gonna happen one of these days. It's just gonna, fall the wayside, a wayside, like Macross. Does anyone tell Macross anymore? No, it's gone. Maybe they'll remake it or something, but like until then, it's what's Macross. There was that one set that Funimation released for Robotech, which was really insulting, apparently, according to the reviews. But other than that, I mean, just Evangelion got very lucky in respect because it was very unique for its time, and since it's come out, it's like people only think about that show and nothing else, which is it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the show till you told me. You just watched it? Oh, did you like it? Second one was not great, but at least it was better than the third one. 13 burps. Yeah. Could Lelouch use Gas on Renya? Absolutely. There's no reason why he couldn't. That's a little different, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Although Johan doesn't really want to conquer the world or change anything. He just wants to, do the ultimate, the perfect suicide. He wants to be forgotten, like the child in the story. The nameless monsters. He's very smart academically, but he's not trying to. He has no real aspirations to like conquer the world or anything. That's why Monster is such a brilliant story because everyone wants to use him to like advance their own goals. But in reality, Johan's like, I don't care about these goals. I just want to find out who messed with my family, my mother, and kill all of them because they ruined my life. Also, life has no meaning. There's that too. Um, 1 second. I got another spam. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Let's see. Kisuke Orihana. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that was actually right. Yeah, that I kind of I don't write stories. I want to at some point, but yeah, it's the whole idea. Even scripts or videos too. It's the same concept where you put something together and like you want to what was it? You crush charcoal and you get a gem or something. And the problem with her, she couldn't like she felt like she wasn't adequate enough and her stuff will never be good enough. And the father or the grandfather was trying to tell her like, no, you got to keep working at it and don't give up on it. Like Whisper Heart is such a really interesting story in that regard about a writer who she was so excited to make that work and it wasn't good. And she was, yeah, it was something else. That the last scene in that movie is just, oh my God, the heartstrings. Wow. That movie was so good. The impact. Oh, finally, someone got the joke. Thank God. I was like, again, I keep saying Ava and Impact, because third Impact. Okay, I'm glad someone finally figured it out. I'm trying to be less like corny in my jokes, but at the same time, though, I sometimes have to, you know, make it obvious, I guess. Gurren and Ava O2 are very similar. Yeah, they are. How about they're both red? They both use a knife. The unit 2 has a knife it's like almost like a box knife almost, and the Gurren uses a master vibration sword. So yeah, they're very similar. The angles also unfortunately are bad for both pilots. The suits are red. The characters are redheads. I mean, we can keep going. They have some strange relationship to like the other major pilot. You have Colin and Suzaku, and you have Shinji and Asuka. Very different though, because Suzaku and Colin are not even romantically interested in each other, and Asuka and Shinji kind of, sort of aren't, but are. It's complicated. So that's very true. Who is Johan? Who is Johan indeed? Johan, you know what? I'll answer your question. He's nobody. He's a fictional a character. He doesn't exist. He was born, but he doesn't really exist. Oh man, what a question. It's like 3 words, but it has so much deep meaning. Who is Johan? An accident, a monster. The killer, he caused the 5-1 Kinderheim incident where all the kids kill each other. He kills everyone who takes care of him. He's obsessed with his sister. He cross dresses. He is nihilistic. Oh my God, who is Johan? And if you're a Lunge, he doesn't exist apparently. So just read Monster or watch it. You'll learn. You'll know. That'll be cool. Let's do a Robo Wars. I'll just say that. Well, not anymore. When Kogias first came out, it was very popular. Nowadays, not so much. Kogias had a resurgence in popularity between 2017 and 2018, but since then, no, it's kind of dipped a little bit. Like you could check this, right? Let's do it for fun. Google Trends. Ever go on Google Trends? It's a fun website. I don't go on it much anymore, but let's check something. Let's type in code Geass. It has none of a term. Kogias? Oh, haha, because it has, I spelled it wrong. I was like, Kogias has never been searched before on the internet? No way. So if you take a look, let's look at the last, let's say 2004 till now. Okay. So Kogias was very popular in 2009, right? And then as you see, it kind of dipped a little bit. And then if you go to 2017, see there's an increase because of the films, and then it was a huge increase because of the Resurrection film. And since then, it's kind of like it's like dying with the stock market. When Zero Capture comes out, it's probably gonna go back up again. But as you know, it's like the peak of Kogias was 2009, and since then, it's kind of like it's been dying out since. Like if I was typing, I don't know, let's type in Bleach, for example. I love doing it; it's a lot of fun. Like Bleach, for example, like as you see there, it just boomed up for obvious reasons. Now it's just a much more popular series. Or let's see, Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, see, even Full Metal Alchemist is not really that popular anymore, and wasn't even stronger than Code Geass. Or how about Evangelion? Let's set that one in. Avon, we'll put the whole thing in. Neon Genesis Evangelion. There it is. Okay. Evangelion also not as popular as Bleach. How do you like that, animals? Let's get rid of Bleach. It's like ruining my data. Okay, here we go. So of these three stories, Evangelion wasn't as popular because it came out in the 90s, and it got a little bit of a jump. But I'm sorry, here a jump in like 2019. Even now, it's gone up because of the film. But if you notice, it's still on a downturn. So Code Geass was basically really popular for like a short period of time, and since then, it looks like it's declining in popularity. Apparently, the most people who have is Hawaii are the most interested in Code Geass. That's funny. In case you're wondering where it's most popular, Hawaii apparently is the right answer. Nobody likes Code Geass in Wyoming. That's sad. Or Montana. Washington. Which one has the most? Is it Maine? Illinois? Who has the most? Hawaii. No? California? Who likes Code Geass the most in the United States of America? Texas? I don't know. Whatever. It's just funny. So it's just cool to see, how it's been ranking all this time. Anyways, the point I'm making is that Code Geass is definitely dipped in popularity. I don't know why I keep going these weird tangents. Whatever. Oh my god, you're right. By the way, I watched Clean. I watched Queen's Blade. Ever heard of Queen's Blade? Queen's Blade. I watched Queen's Blade many years ago. Oh, you got me kidding me. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, well, um, I can't play the game anymore. I got a maintenance, so I can't summon it. I was gonna summon some character before the day ended or night. I'm like insane, but no, they're doing maintenance because as you guys know, as I said, tomorrow they're having like the versus mode. So, well, there goes that crap. Oh well. I forgot. I didn't know they were gonna do that, bastards. But to your point, like so the Queen's Blade story. I watched Queen's Blade many years ago. I'm talking like early, I don't know, I would say like 2012 maybe. And I saw it on one of those free sites. And when I watched Queen's Blade, it had the voice actor from Yu-Gi-Oh! So like Serenity played the bunny with like the nipples that fired out acid. Oh my god, that show was so much sexual. That was like the first ecchi I ever watched. What a joke! There's that one scene where the main character, I don't remember her name, She had to win the event, and she fought against this. This is not even the tournament. It was like a random fight in like this mud pit, I think. She fought the snake lady who bit her boobs, and it was just like wow, like with her own snake or something with the venom. What a strange show. I mean, I don't know why I watched it back. I mean, I know why. Okay, let's not be stupid. We know why we watch shows like Queen's Blade or High School of the Dead. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend like we're not gonna pretend beat around the bush, so to speak. Oh, that's poor choice of words right there. But anyways, yeah, Queen's Blade was awful. Record of Lodas War, much better. That's a good anime. I should revisit it again, based on D&D lore. Oh, very nice. That's I'm glad you did that. Probably not. Unless it's a Robot Wars. It might. You might get a little jump. I mean, and you saw that data, like when they resurrected Lelouch, that wasn't that didn't do enough. So probably not. I mean, there's a channel on YouTube. It's not a good barometer, but there's a channel called Oh Brandon Reviews, I believe. Brandon. Let's see. Brandon Reviews. So this channel is pretty good. I like his stuff. He does like latest seasons of shows, and I kind of gauge as like the popularity if the show is doing well. For example, when they revitalized what's that show called? Not revitalized. They rebooted what is it called? Damn it. I can't think of the name of it. I'm so out of it. What is it called? All right, I'm gonna look it up. I can't think of it in the top of my head. All do the dog demon. Man, I'm dog demon. Um, thank you for waking me up. No, that's a different one. Inuyasha. Oh my god, that took way too long. So when they did Inuyasha, the new series that came out, I forgot what it was called recently. It didn't really, there wasn't much attention towards it. So like even the new JoJo series, like no one's really talking about it too much. Like there's a couple of videos here and there, but it's not like really that like no one's going crazy about it. And JoJo is a big deal, but the latest season, like it's good. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was good. But yet no one seems to care about it. Oh, that's another one too. Higurashi, right? Higurashi is also a really good anime. Higurashi is like one of my favorites. Again, not my top 10, but it was really good though. Specifically, the first two. So that would be Kai and then the first series. Ray was it was okay. I haven't watched the new stuff yet. I might get into it at some point. If this channel wasn't too Code Geass based, I would love to talk about Higurashi because I love that story. It was such a brilliant story. I like the whole differentiation paths and how it was like the same story, but there's different variations to it. It was pretty good. A lot of thought was put into it. Or even Madoka Magica. I'm just going through his videos here, and they're not getting highly views. Not because his channel is bad, but because there's no interest in it. Um, yeah, there's like the only thing I've noticed nowadays when it comes to anime YouTubing, not to go on a random tangent, but if you type in, I don't know, let's say JoJo, Jolene, I can't remember her name. I'm an idiot. Jolene. You get these stupid videos where people like make like this. Like instead of getting a nice analysis, you get moments videos. I feel like YouTube is going this direction where now, where if you want to be successful in anime YouTube, don't talk about the show, just show images or moments. That's what people care about these days. See, they're all just moments. There's one good video on channel called Haman Beat. Where is it? See, I mean, there's like no analysis. Oh, I got this one. Okay, this is no offense to Amagi. I don't hate their channel, but this is not analysis. This is just going through Wikipedia page and just saying everything happened. I've done the same things. I'm just as guilty, but I'm just saying like this is not. I wouldn't call it analysis. There's one channel called Haman Beat. Yeah, this guy is great. He made an entire video discussing the difference between the manga and the anime. That was a good video. So, and he did analysis for the opening too. So, besides this one guy, I can't find anyone else who's even talking about the series. The point I'm trying to make is that JoJo's a big deal. I think bigger than Code Geass, and yet people are not talking about it. When Attack on Titan comes out next month, people will be making tons of videos about it. You can bet your butt, like Enemy Uproar will be spamming every day with video on the topic, even though he already discussed the series in the manga analysis. But it is what it is. More tangents, I guess. Well, hopefully the game will have that. Nightmare Frame. It stands for Nightmare Frame. Yeah, it's just no one wants to write Nightmare Frame because it's actually like autonomous something Nightmare Frame. No one wants to write that, so we just say MFs, KMFs. Yeah. Would it be? I don't know. Yeah, it's very unique. Evangelion's like it's the designs of the as I discussed in my review. The designs of the Avas themselves are so cool. The lore is so interesting, but the story itself kind of fails to me. And the characters, I don't know what it is, I just didn't like them. You know, I just didn't like these characters. It's sad, but I would like Death Note to be finished. I know this is kind of weird how to do this, but basically, that's 15 now. 15 burps. Okay, what I'd like them to do is simply take Death Note, same animation style, possibly same voice actors if you can get them again. Just fix the entire part after what happens something happens to L. After that part, finish the story because the manga has parts the anime skips out for some reason. The story should have been 50 episodes. Just show the rest of the stuff we missed. Like there's some scenes of Mellow that explain a lot of stuff. They kind of cut out in the anime. Don't like re-add those parts back. That's what I wish they would do. I don't know. I just don't see Lelouch as a standard shonen character. That's why it's kind of strange for me to put him in a shonen anime. Like you could put him into I don't know, like Full Metal Panic, and that might work, but that's a different story. I'm surprised they didn't give it a big jump since fangirls have been begging for Lelouch's return. You know what? I know. I'm kind of I don't know. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Not sure who Stain is. I can't really explain it because the story doesn't bother. I mean, the problem with the Ragnarok connection, and I want to discuss it in my video when I compare it to the Promise Day and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But if I was to summarize, I can give you like three reasons why it just doesn't work for me and why it failed. Number one, we don't know what actually would have happened. We have no previous examples of it. At least in like Evangelion and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, they show you examples of what could have happened. In Brotherhood, they literally showed you what was going to happen, and in Ava, they showed you different impacts, so you had some idea of what could be, even though in the end it still wasn't like completely spelled out to you. But with Code Geass, there was no prior example of any kind where this Ragnarok connection was even done before. Like even let's say in the past where someone tried to do the same thing and it failed, but we saw something to work on, there was no prior example. It also failed because the story couldn't get their facts right about it. I'm still confused if C2 left to go get Lelouch to get her code because she wouldn't be part of it, but then they used her code anyways. But then they said they only needed one code, so C2 wasn't needed in the first place. But they were so desperate to get her. And then she lied to Lelouch about it, but she didn't lie to him because she didn't know, but she didn't know. Like there's just again, you can't understand it because it was just poorly written with tons of contradictory statements within the first two series. That's the problem with the Ragnarok connection. It just wasn't. It's the person who wrote the story did not write anything that was cohesive. It was just a bunch of ideas. It needed like 5 rewrites, and they had to rush out. I guess that's the problem with the Ragnarok connection. You can't really make sense of it because the writers didn't. There's no like coherent narrative discuss exactly what happened. It's all, well, I could give you speculation saying like if we got rid of that part, then it must mean this, but ultimately we don't have any grounded, definitive information. It was horrible. You could take the Ragnarok, you could remove the Ragnarok connection out of the series and just kill Marion and Charles in a different way, and they're probably much better off for the story. That's where a remake of R2 could fix such problems. I saw that review. It was really good. He really ripped it a new one. I don't even agree with those points, by the way. And he said that he said Ava was boring. No, Ava's not boring. I disagree with that completely. He was saying how like there's no tension where no one's gonna die. I'm like, are you serious? That lava episode? Okay, I didn't agree with that part. I did agree, however, that just because the story has deep messages and stuff like that, therefore it's okay. Therefore, characters can be jerks. I agreed with those points. I was mixed again because I don't hate Evangelion. Okay, I like the original series and End of Evangelion to some extent. I just didn't like these films. They were garbage. Just because you want to, fix your mistakes and want to make Evangelion again, so what? Do it a good job. You can make a good story that has good metaphors and symbolism, but also tells a good, easy to understand narrative, right? You can do both. Why not? That's the problem with those films. Lelouch needs to be trained. Also, what will Lelouch's quirk even be? Would it be the Gias power? I don't know. I mean, that's what it was, but again, it just wasn't explained well enough. No, I mean, I used to think that was the case, but the people who wrote the stories said it wasn't, so I'm going to go with it. And now we have a whole new universe where Lelouch actually lived. I think it's definitive he died at the end of that series, which, by the way, makes sense because that was kind of the point in some level. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. You're talking about this, I believe, right? The JMS Comic Rising. Yeah, maybe it could be a stretch though. Yeah, look, the show is Code Geass, right? So obviously there must be some reason behind that. Again, people look for different stuff. T2 needs to train L2 to take care of himself. Yeah, definitely. Although, can Lelouch cook? He's not like complete helpless. So it's official that Lelouch died in the original series. Yeah, that was official. They confirmed that. I mean, that was it was confirmed by the author, and that film, the R2 Zero Requiem movie, that confirmed the fact that he was in fact dead. That's why they made that film, among other reasons, to prove he was actually dead. Yeah, the whole carriage driver. Before I got into this weird tangent, a long tangent, I was gonna go off and say that like Genocide Code came out in it came out 2 months ago, really? Yeah, in October, right. It came out in October. It was delayed like a million months. I remember we kept saying like in the streams, when's the game gonna come out? It was like July. Nope, now it's August. Nope, now it's September. Nope, now it's October. They kept delaying the damn thing. It's so funny. I mean, like, what's funny too about Genocide Code? I was kind of stupid, and one mistake I made this year was I didn't realize that people really wanted discussions on the animations. Like this video here, this was just a highlight from one of my streams where I discussed the animations. But apparently, people actually liked this video. I was like, okay. And if I was smart, I could have capitalized more on Genocide Code's debut, and I plan to for Lost Stories. I'm going to have more things prepared in advance so I can actually capitalize on people's interest in the story. I'm learning now how YouTube works after 1 year of testing things out that oftentimes, and this is really sad by the way, but this is how it is. You put out a video that is well timed will do better than a video that might be better crafted, have better points, and well edited. Months later, it won't do as well. It's kind of sad. You could put like no effort on YouTube and get lots of views. You can put lots of effort on YouTube and get no views. It's kind of a frustrating experience. So my goal for Lost Stories is to have like a bunch of videos ready to go to discussing it. Like I plan to have like the whole DMS thing running and trying different games and having reviews and stuff and strategy guides and stuff like that. So I kind of learned that from the Janitary Code how to cover games going forward. But this channel I was really proud of, even though it wasn't well received. I love this stream. This video was pretty popular. This one I made accidentally, but people apparently liked it. This is where you can install the game. Just people always ask me how to install the game. Here's a video. Go follow it. I don't know. So there's that. I still haven't finished the Janitary Code story. I'm like annoyed because I keep getting distracted. Like there's now like a Christmas one I have to go through now, so I have to do that first. And then we finally get into the story because we had like 3 different events back to back to back, which is so like I don't mind events in the game, but like come on out. I need time to breathe, you know? I mean, I'll show what I mean before this video here, right? About lost stories. It got like 2,000 views, which I'm thankful for. But like, what was this video in a nutshell, right? It was just me talking from a camera while going over the stuff. But like, let's say this video here. This is a deep analysis of Suzaku and Euphemia's relationship, where I dove into like why they're meant for each other. I discussed Euphemia's possible abusive past, Suzaku's issues with guilt and wishes to die, and how the two of them help each other out get through these hard problems in life, and why when she died it really hurt him in ways that maybe you didn't understand if you didn't watch the story originally or didn't watch it in more detail. The point I'm trying to make is that if I make a video where I just kind of time it right, I do really well. And if I just throw something out there that I think is thoughtful, interesting, it is what it is. It won't do that right. So YouTube is really frustrating in that regard. But that's the problem too. I'm always basing my decisions off like, 1, would you guys be interested? And 2, would it actually do well? And unfortunately, the number 2 seems to always supersede number 1. I'm working on it. I have some plans to kind of mess around with that going forward. But I've learned a lot about how to put out videos at the right time. Number 8. No, 18. No, 16, I think. 16 burps so far. These are fun videos, too, to do. These were like quick top 10 lists. And they were kind of cool. They didn't do as well as I thought, but I still thought they were fun to make. So, yeah, there's that. All right, back to comments. Okay. The Lucius Marion's daughter. I know, right? Who knew? Yeah, but he doesn't need fighting skills. Like that's the whole point of Code Geass is that Suzaku is supposed to be like the powerful warrior, the best warrior in his time, and the Lucius is like the best military strategist, among other things. So when they combine the two of them, that's why they destroyed the world almost. The best warrior and the best like military strategist. That's why they were a brilliantly unstoppable team. Yeah, Lucius definitely can cook for sure. Yeah, I do want to see Lucius live. That'd be kind of funny. Like an alternate universe. Lucius is actually buff now. I don't think. Yeah, he'd definitely be a villain. I would agree with that one. Intelligence, probably. He has no other weapons. Still, what is his quirk? What is Lucius' quirk? I don't watch MAH, but I know there's something called quirks. What would his be? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that is. I haven't watched the story. Or even you know what Gender Code's even like now? I know it came out first, but have you guys seen what's been going on with Halo Infinite? Like that whole free to play multiplayer has been like a complete shitstorm since it came out. Like they have the same Gender Code. You pay for stuff. You can buy new equipment for your character. Like they have it for free, but you got to pay to get the cool stuff. And people have been glitching and been cheating that game too, apparently. So it looks like every facet of this industry is like destroyed. It's being destroyed by this stupid monetization idea or policy where you're basically putting out a free content, but if you want more of that free content, you have to pay money. I mean, like, why sell a $60 game when you can make $1,000 in one day if someone just buys all your DLC stuff? So it's really awful that Jethro Code is really just another victim in this whole new modern gaming stuff, which is just how do we get to this point? There's a great line from one of the Evangelion films where Shinji says like, "How did I get here?" I'm like, "Yeah, how did we get here? how do we go from like a simple concept of making video games to now we have like everything is just about monetization, and how can we take more money from the player while making a less making the quality of the product awful? I mean, if it happens to Halo Infinite, literally no franchise is safe because Halo's always been. I mean, it was a cash cow, obviously, with the before and five, but at least they kept things better than this. I mean, even five had more updates to the multiplayer than Infinite does. It's just funny how like Halo Infinite wasn't safe from this. So is anything at this point? I guess not, right? Yeah, unfortunately, these things don't even like mean anything to me. Unfortunately, I've never watched the show. I'll take your word for it, I guess. No, I don't. Was there an R3 trailer? I don't remember that. There was fan made ones. He Man and the Masters of the Universe. Don't get me started with a guy asking a girl out with Halo. What the hell? That's funny. Wait. Is this like on YouTube? I want to look that up. Is that a YouTube video of a guy trying to get a girl on Halo? That's funny. Dude, that's like the worst thing you should do. Wow. Yeah, something like that probably. Capitalism ruined video games. Well, it also gave the rise to video games. I think it's like it's greed, like corporate greed that caused it. It's also our fault too. Like it's complicated because the relationship between people and products is like a completely separate topic, but on a very simplistic level, okay, very simplistic. If you don't want something and you don't buy it, it won't be ever made again. So obviously, enough people like this that we keep having it continue on. Like for example, in Janissary Code, you have whales, people who spend lots of money in the game to unlock characters, even though the game itself is god awful. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that if people weren't paying for the product, you wouldn't have it. So obviously, enough people do like it. I just don't understand how they got away with that, but that's a whole other thing. Because like kids play mobile games, you've heard those horror stories where they buy stuff from them and their parents like lose thousands of dollars. They don't know where the hell it went because mobile games. In a sense, yes, but also they also gave rise to them as well. So you got to look at the positive and the negatives. But I can't agree. I can't disagree that the greed has definitely gone to a point where it's not fun anymore. But again, like even Halo Infinite, right? To go to that topic, the hardcore players are purchasing the in-game stuff, so they are supporting the monetization method. If they weren't buying all that stuff, they wouldn't be making the number 19. They will be making this process to begin with, or they wouldn't be doing it this way. But because people are paying for it, obviously some people are okay with it. That's the problem in a nutshell. Is that the guy with the red hair? I'm not even sure. I don't know. Iron Man and Banner are pretty smart. Just saying. Moist Critical. Is that Penguin? Are you talking about Penguin Zoe? Who's Moist Critical? Is that Penguin Zoe? Yeah, it's Penguin. I mixed it with a channel. He's good and bad. Yeah, that's true. No, look again. I'm not denying the fact that there's definitely some problems here going on. I just it's a mixed bag of compliance and also shady business practices. I don't recall this trailer ever happening for R3, but I don't remember that. Who the hell is Momo? Yeah, I'm probably gonna head out soon. It's already like 10 o'clock. I'm getting like I'm not tired, but like I'm just annoyed. I was gonna do some summonings, but damn it. But staying for signed by W Game, appreciate it. Um, yeah. So that was that video. One thing I'm proud of also, I got this like Lelouch and C2 compilation video, and the reason I like this video a lot is because it is that Jeff Goldblum? That's creepy. I'm mostly when I what I like with this video too is that I tried to do something different. I don't know if it like worked or not, but my strategy was like, okay, every compilation video just gives you like the characters with no context behind anything. So I'm like, okay, how about I give you guys the episode name, where the scene starts, and also explain what happened in the scene. It covers me in two areas. One, it's copyright, it's fair use because I'm not just showing you clips, I'm giving you context and actually doing something with it. And two, if you watched this video, you want to know where it came from, I gave you all the information you need. So it's a good way to one, avoid the hopefully the fair use problems, but also give someone actually a database where you can look up any episode in the scene and know where to find it. Of course, I fudged up, but still, my favorite part of the video, by the way, is you probably already know it's this part here. I even like I made a timestamp for it. I was like, where is it? Uh, the why you want to watch this. This whole scene right here. This is why you want to watch this video. Yeah. That's one video I come to watch ever so often when I don't know I really like the compilation, and then I also started doing shorts like I mentioned before. This was my first one. I plan on doing way more in the future. Again, quick lists, more character stuff, topics I'll never discuss in live streams, but things or even videos. But I definitely want to discuss in the future just because they're fun topics. Like this one. This is a very fun topic. I don't need to do a 20-minute video. Just a very simple, a 1 minute short. This one's also doing pretty well too. I'm glad. I like Lloyd's character. He's very underrated, but he's also really funny. So it's good stuff overall. Yeah, Lloyd is super funny. Okay, I missed a couple things. Lucius Smart and academics, I guess so. Momo's barely around doing anything, so they focus on Deku, Bakudo, and Todoroki. Got it? Do you think Lucio will be trim All Might? That'd be kind of cool. But Momo isn't smart. I don't know who Momo is. You know what? Hold on. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. R3 trailer. I think I know what you're talking about. Actually, you know what? This, right? Is what you're talking about? This trailer? You mean this? You're talking about this trailer, right? Okay, this one. Yeah, that's right. There was this trailer. This was not in the movie. You can tell it's concept art because like how the characters looked. Yeah. Did you put any memes in there? Let me see something. Maybe I'll break down this trailer in a video to discuss my thoughts on it. Oh, you put memes in. Okay, I'll take a look. All right, hold on. I'll stop this. No more violence. I actually made this also, by the way, as a. I made this one as a quote. Let's see. 1 second. Give me a second. I made this as a quote. I should have code meant. Where's my code meant quotes at? Where are they at? What the hell? What the hell? Where's my code meant quotes? Code meant quotes. Where are my code meant quotes? Do you guys like watch Mr. Plankett's reviews? They're so funny. Star Wars was the most disappointing thing since my son. And I don't have a son. I feel like I'm having like a mini okay, hold on. I got oh. I was like, where the hell is it? Here it is. I was about to freak out for a second. I'm like, where's my code meant quote? Here it is. Here's mine. I'll stop this violence the way I know how, with more violence. Okay. What's this one? Oh my god! Don't lie. You want to do this before you were counting around to it. Okay, fair point, but I mean,
bullying, knock it off. Racism, knock it off. Bigotry, knock it off. Crime, knock it off. Robbing banks, knock it off. Not saying is bad. Leave it in the past.
What the hell was that? That was a weird video. Okay, that's funny though. Very funny. But I don't know what the hell that was about. Okay. All right. I got the memes done. So now back to this video. Um, oh yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like you can use it later. That was my thought too. It's a reference almost. Alush in Lost. Who's the character in Lost Story looks like Alush? I don't know actually. I thought it was. I think it's you can pick the name for the character. It's a self insert character. It's basically you. Um, the YouTube video when Lush has returned has 2 million views on YouTube. Of course, why not? Exactly. I remember the scene when Lloyd was did Suzaku at the wrong time, not giving him the keys, so he punched him. Yeah, I kind of didn't disagree with Suzaku there because he was kind of being a dick. At the same time, though, I mean, who the hell is Momo? You guys keep saying this person named Momo. Oh, not mom, mom. Momo MAH. Oh, her. This is like the most sexualized character in the story. Like, yeah, she's like overly sexualized, right? Okay, I don't want to go into. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay, I'm back to the trailer. Let's see. That's Zero. That's Suzaku jumping up. It's definitely Zero. He's doing a Naruto run there. It's kind of funny. The ships from R2, I guess. Is that the Vincent? Looks like the Vincent. Or no, Shinkiro. Shinkiro. It's a Shinkiro. It's a Shinkiro. Yep, Shinkiro. Cool. Firing its diamond blast in your face. Awesome. And this is Zilkstan looks like. That's C2 and Lush on llamas, it looks like. Right? C2 and Lush. Back up. Yeah, C2 and Lush are on llamas. Okay. Some destruction rubble. That's the new Shinkiro. I mean, that's the new. Yeah, that's the. Oh no, that's the new Lancelot that was never shown in the story. It's the Zero Lancelot. It's called. One second, Lancelot Code Geass. I don't know the exact name of it. Code Geass. Genesta de Coldo. Let's see. We want the development to the Lancelot Conquista, which becomes the Albion, which becomes the. It's called the Sin. This is it. It's called the Albion Zero. So this was never in the original anime, or this was not in the film. It was only in the trailer. I remember this. This was really a trailer for the movie, not so much the R3 story, or maybe it was. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Why is Anya and Jeremiah in a field with seagulls? I mean, not seagulls. Those are not seagulls. Jesus Christ. Those are flamingos. I'm an idiot. Why is Jeremiah going Super Saiyan? What the hell is going on? Wait. Hold on. What is that? So there's Millie, Rivals, and Nina. I'm not sure who that is. We see Colin with a bunch of Sutherlands. Everyone's running away from something. Probably the. Oh, no wonder. An explosion, I guess. Wait, why would Colin be in the Gurren like that? Should she be in the new one? She won't be like. Okay, whatever. That's kind of weird. Cornelia. Okay. Looks great. None of these scenes were in the movie. There's Zilkstan, a train. Oh, Suzaku, what the fudge? Why was that on the film? That was cool. He's like riding some kind of car. He just jumps off. What the fudge? Okay. I'm definitely gonna do a video on this on this trailer at some point. Code Geass, The Lucha of the Resurrection, coming to theaters never. Do. Wow, people are so hopeful. Look at these comments. Oh man. Okay. What are we talking about? Hmm. Oh, you don't want to see this. My bad. Nobody wants to see more of Evangelion. Why would you want to see that? You got enough of it from me. Got enough of a lifetime, honestly. Maybe several, honestly, at this point. Did I say honestly too many times? I don't know. Probably. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, it was exactly. That was really cool. Where you can do the do do do. Oh, I don't know what it's called. I know you're talking about. It's the theme music when Lucius resurrected. You know, the do. I don't know what it's actually called. Love that song though. Wait, how did Taizo die? Oh, he was executed, I believe, by Britannia when he was. Like, if you type him in, Taizo Kirahara Kogias. I did that. 20 burps. They don't tell you this, by the way, but they should have mentioned this. He is later executed after the Black Rebellion, along with the other members of Kyoto House, except for Kaguya Sumeragi. Now, unless I'm confused or I meant something, but I missed something, what the hell am I saying? I don't think they ever talk about this in R2, but apparently he was executed. They never talk about it, though. Unless it was this scene, but I don't, where they show a bunch of people being executed by Kalaris. I don't think that's what it was. There's no, like, information about it. There's no source for this either. It just claims he was executed. So I'm not sure what happened to him. Supposedly he was executed. I don't know. Who the hell knows? Again, R2 could have explained this stuff. Explain, Joe, explain. Anywho, yeah, Taizo got screwed. To be fair, he played both sides. He knew what was coming. You know, you can't do that. You gotta know when you. It's like Snape from Harry Potter. You know, how long can you play the double agent before how long can you play double agent before you get caught or something like that? No, R2 mentioned it. It did. What episode? Um, can you? What episode did it mention it? Not even like 8. Really? Really? I just did episode 8. I don't remember that conversation. I'm going to my notes right now. I must be insane. Where did it mention that? Hold on. I have no notes about this. No episode 9. Which is it? Are we going to keep keep the thing going? One second. One second. I'm looking this up right now because what part of episode 9 did it mention it? Can you know the exact scene? I can't play stuff because I'll get screwed, but I can at least look at it on a macro level. Let's see. Let me just type in Taizo and see if it's referenced. Oh, you're right. Zaku, they rushed in front of Schneizel to fight Zero, but Kaguya stand between them and reminds Zaku that they are cousins. With the conversation also revealing that Taizo, Kirihara, and other members were captured and executed. Why did I miss that? Am I a retard? Hold on. Kogias transcripts. How did I miss that? That's like a very important what is this? This is not what I wanted. Wait, this isn't checkers. It's not even normal checkers. One second. How did I miss that scene? I must wow. I always wonder what happened. Taizo? They could have stayed their executions. Wow, I'm an idiot. I completely missed that. Nice. Oh, oh my god. This is where you just walk away and hope no one remembers this. You get arrested. Fun facts right there. While the music trailer is called "To Serve Justice." Oh, fancy that. Well, there you go, people. If you were wondering, you got your answer. So, Return Emperor. Yes, all the music. I saved the comments for this. Yeah, for the live stream. So if you watch it again, you'll see them in case you wanted to go back through this. Revive. I can't speak Japanese. Revive. Revive. You're not alone. That's how I sing the song too. Unfortunately. Um. Yeah, it's getting kind of late. I guess I'll end it like this because it's getting kind of late. I was gonna do a summoning, but I forgot they're doing that announcement, but that new maintenance. So I'll say as much. 2021 was a really great year, and a lot of good stuff came out of it. I'm thankful that the channel has grown this much, and I predict it'll grow even more next year. I got so many videos on the work. The biggest problem I've always had is time. Some people get burned out. Me, I just don't have time to make all this stuff. My goal is to make even better content. I wrote some goals here. I want to do more comparison videos between Kogias and our animes, more analysis stuff. Like I think Schneider deserves his own video, and maybe I want to do a whole Luge video. I mean, I got so many stuff I wanted to do. I want to do hopefully Zero Capture if it comes out. More differences between anime versions of different stories or different versions of the same story. Like Evangelion, even though I'm annoyed with the show, I just like to get that done at some point. More death counts, more romance stuff, and eventually the manga read order. Yeah, it was definitely yeah, 2021 was it was a whack year, but like it was still good though. A lot of stuff I wasn't happy about, but you gotta stay positive, move forward, and that's what I was saying in my videos. Tomorrow will be a good day, and the world's not a dark place. Because I really mean that. That's something I got from Monster, by the way. That tells you how good the story was. Anyhow, guys, I may do a live stream next week. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see. But until then, though, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good start of the week. Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas. I know we're late on that one, but still, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I will see you guys on the next one. So take care, guys.